Begins, number one.
The crew battles each other in simulated war games.
Computers report heavy damage to the Enterprise.
Bring us about, Ensign. Maximum shields.
But a surprise ambush traps them in a fight for survival.
That's no ghost attacking the Enterprise, that's real.
Where are my weapons?
Unavailable, sir. The connections have been fused.
On Star Trek, The Next Generation. Simulated war games turn deadly when a real enemy attacks the crew on the next exciting episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation. Deadly war games on Star Trek, The Next Generation. On the next episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Data, something's got me!
A sinister creature threatens murder
Please stop hurting him.
and traps Consular Troy in a shipwrecked vessel.
One of you is going to die.
Now it's a struggle to stop the alien's savage power.
Get them up. Now.
But one of the crew will bid a tragic farewell on Star Trek, The Next Generation. An attack by a savage creature results in tragedy for one of the crew on Star Trek, The Next Generation. A shocking tragedy on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Stranded on an alien planet,
We have captured one of their spies.
a case of mistaken identity endangers Riker's life,
I have to get back on my ship.
and survival lies in the hands of the enemy.
Stop him! He's escaping!
Will you release my officer?
We're not giving him back.
I believe that Riker will not survive the day.
Starfleet Crisis on Star Trek, The Next Generation. Riker's trapped on an alien planet
Stop him!
with no hope of escape on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Time on Star Trek, The Next Generation. Geordi is missing in action on a deadly planet.
Mr. Worf, launch the probe.
A violent storm blocks the crew's desperate search to find him,
Will he survive?
I can't see!
and his fate lies with the enemy.
You are my prisoner!
On Star Trek, The Next Generation. Geordi's missing in action on a storm-ridden planet in the next exciting episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation. Missing in action on Star Trek, The Next Generation. Next time.
Picard and Riker turn traitor
I've had a change of profession.
and join a renegade ship of mercenaries
It is time that we had a new commander.
in assembling one of the most devastating weapons ever conceived.
This is the power of the mind.
But how far will they go in this deadly game?
Kill him.
Is he dead?
Yes.
Next time on Star Trek, The Next Generation. Picard and Riker turn traitor.
I've had a change of profession.
But how far will they go on Star Trek, The Next Generation? Urgent mission tests the courage of 4 young cadets.
Lock phasers on target.
I want to make it clear that you are not to discuss what you see here with anyone.
All are sworn to secrecy,
Why are we intentionally damaging the shuttlecraft?
but one will put her life on the line
This is obviously a very dangerous mission.
in a daring rescue with no hope of return.
Patrol ships moving in on our position.
We don't have much time.
Next time on Star Trek, The Next Generation. A top-secret mission forces Picard to order a young cadet on a daring rescue on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, Counselor Troy's mother is on a manhunt for a new husband.
A Betazoid woman, when she goes through this phase, quadruples her sex drive.
Now, Picard's hiding in the holodeck to escape wedlock.
Perhaps we should consider my alternate plan.
And Riker is the next man she hopes to seduce.
Married until death us do part.
On Star Trek: The Next Generation. Troy's mother hunts for a new husband.
Until death us do part.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Marriage Trap on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I accept your challenge, Doctor.
I wouldn't miss it.
Dr. Pulaski challenges Data to solve the Sherlock Holmes mystery in the holodeck.
There is your killer. Seize her!
But the evil Moriarty seizes the ship's computer
The time for games is over.
in a ruthless plot to sabotage the Enterprise on Star Trek: The Next Generation. The holodeck creates a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery. On the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Holodeck mystery on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
A legendary hero is missing in action on a dangerous mission to unite two worlds. And deadly saboteurs threaten their quest to find him.
If we are discovered by the Romulans, it means death for us all.
Now, as the future faces its darkest hour, fate joins together two generations.
I'm looking for Ambassador Spock.
Spock on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Picard faces a deadly mission to find a hero from the past. Spock on Star Trek: The Next Generation. A Federation starship on a merciless attack.
You have killed nearly 700 people.
A Starfleet renegade on the brink of madness.
We had to act now.
Picard must destroy his fellow officer to stop a war.
You must preserve the peace, no matter what the cost.
He turns weapons on a...
Hey-o, everybody. Welcome. Gentlemen, how many lights are there? Welcome to Star Trek. It's Slender... Sorry, I can't talk or read tonight. Sander Hammerslag has got it. There are 4 lights indeed. How are we, gentlemen, this evening?
I'm worried about you now. Are you okay?
That was the weirdest intros you've ever done.
Sorry, I just a switch flipped in my head and I just went into weird mode because I'm just very excited. I'm very happy because we're actually after a strain of doing Section 31 and then Sub Rosa. We've finally got some good meaty Trek. Thank you, Dan. This is your pick. Thank you for people in chat. I know we've got a few new faces here tonight. Don't forget you're going to need your own copy of the episode, but I will be showing the trailer and things like that. So there'll be time codes and there'll be countdowns and all that kind of stuff as I usually.
Make sure to rewind your VHS tape, please.
That's true, yeah. Rewind it now. I'll give you plenty of time. But, Gemma, should we watch a trailer?
Yes.
Oh, is it going to measure up, though? Like, I need, like, sensual Picard headstroke action. I'm not going to get it from this trailer.
Nothing's going to beat that at all. Okay, let's watch this trailer. Hopefully, sound should be coming through. If not, let me know.
Top secret orders force Picard to relinquish command.
I want this ship ready for action.
Duty sends him to stop production of the most feared weapon in the galaxy.
Destroy it. At any cost. Destroy.
Beverly, get out of there! But has Starfleet sent him on a suicide mission?
It's a trap.
Come on!
It's a trap!
Oh my god.
Captain!
We are preparing to defend us.
On Star Trek The Next Generation.
Only Worf would get hit by the pink phaser. There's more. There's a couple more trailers.
Oh, it's so
Starfleet
charming.
orders Picard on a suicide mission to destroy the ultimate enemy weapon on Star Trek The Next Generation.
How many angles will we see Wolf get shot from? Okay. What?
Yeah, that's it. Oop.
Different
You know
announcer
what?
for that one. We didn't get our download.
You know what we need to do in the future? When we get these 3-for-1s, we need to watch the first one in totality and then pause and take bets on which scene will make
that's
the
a
third
good
one.
idea.
They only
We'll
do
do that
the
for
one.
part. We'll do that for part 2.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, just for anyone watching as well, we are going to be doing part 2 tonight as well. So yeah, strap yourselves in. We're probably going to ask you this question for more detail later, Dan. But Chain of Command, it's got to mean something to you. This is one of your early draft picks.
Yeah, it was fascinating because I don't remember a whole lot. I think the torture scenes from part 2 stick out in all of our minds the most. But I'm more curious to keep my eye on Jellicoe and do a rewatch and really see. There's a lot of debate back and forth on whether he was really an asshole or just getting the job done. And so we've got we've got some entertaining watching there. I'm also aware that this was, I think, originally written as a one-parter that was just kind of stretched out. I actually thought this was a season finale. And turns out it was just right in the middle of the season. They gave us
It'd be better than the season finale we had.
Yeah, objectively worse is Descent at the end of this season.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Time Zero previously was a little bit of a romp, but also not a great track. But
we lost Auto.
Are you besmirching the good name of Samuel Clemens?
Hey now.
he's my favorite Colonel Sanders impersonator.
Mr. Taylor.
Oh my god.
So, anyways, yeah, there's not an interesting change of pace too, because there's not a whole lot of explosions or aliens or whatever, and I think this episode winds up being more of a setup for Deep Space Nine, just the timing of it.
I was gonna say, do you feel like this might be the most DS9 that TNG ever got in terms of like tone and pacing and the way it feels? This could easily be a DS9 episode.
I'm gonna have some notes about that literal topic later on, so I think Auto's having a few issues here, so we'll wait for him to get settled. But this is definitely sort of like this was the episode that was literally right before the DS9 pilot. This is what came out in the end.
Oh, really?
So yeah. How are we doing, Auto? You got some issues?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. How about we start the episode? Okay, I need to tune.
Well, how about we do some pre-ratings?
How about we do some pre-ratings while I'm setting up for the episode? That's a good idea. Dan, this is your baby. What are you gonna? Since you haven't watched it for a while, I'm intrigued to know what your pre-rating is gonna be.
I'm a little concerned about the fact that it's a kind of a split one-parter. So looking to spot some padding, and that might potentially mark it down a bit. In honor of there being 4 lights, I'll give it a 9.4 to start, and we'll see where
That's your undersling. That's your underthrow.
Now that Auto's taken a mouthful, no, I'll go stars. What's your pre-rating?
So I find that this is, I don't remember there being a lot of padding here. I think if there is any padding, it's mostly character moments, which in my mind don't qualify as padding. It's like, by that metric, half of the best of both worlds is padding, and you wouldn't really call that padding. I feel like I'm gonna have to. My feelings may change on this, but I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic, quote unquote, and go with a 9. And hopefully, I feel like I'm gonna go higher than that. I feel like I'm gonna upring, but 9 feels like solid for that.
Yeah, I'll go 9 too, because when I read behind the scenes, this was originally going to be a 1-hour show. They thought, we'll save some budget, stretch it by putting 2 men in a room and letting them talk, which, does produce bangers from time to time. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but in terms of padding, maybe.
Literally my favorite.
I'll go 9 flat. Yeah, I'll go 9 flat, and we'll see from there.
I have a vague memory that part 1 is either part 1 isn't as good as part 2, or part 2 isn't as good as part 1, and I can't. I think part 2 is more iconic, but maybe not as good. I can't remember. I'm gonna stick with a 9 as well. I'm prepared to go up or even risk an 8.5 at your guys' wrath. Fears I can't do that anymore.
We won't fear the number.
Preppy Trekkie is pre-rating of 8. Hey, Preppy Trekkie. Thanks for subscribing on Twitch. We'll have a chat at some point. I saw you out there. But yeah, how about we get started on this? Okay, everyone, set up your Paramount Plus as your Blu-ray copy, your DVD, even if you've got it on tape, although that may not sync up very well with our timecode. But I think if you've got the Blu-ray or the DVD copy, you should be fine with us right now. And we're going to start the episode let me get the right buttons, make sure I've got everything set up correctly. Hopefully this will work. I say that I've done like nearly 100 of these, and every time I'm like, I hope this works. I've got like 3 buttons.
Is that only 100?
Nearly. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Oh, there we go. Nice. Oh
no, Jay, that's +1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come.
God, that haircut is severe. I love it.
That's sick. Dude, Natalie's a boss. I love her.
She was at a convention recently, Chicago, I think. Dressed in full Admiral's uniform.
Yeah, they made such a good use for her because season 3.
That was a 10-second cold open. I love that.
Yeah, that's abrupt. That's punching you in the nose with that.
Yeah. How do you feel about turtlenecks?
It's like, I'm wearing one right now. It's just like, that's very fetching.
It's true. You never really think of those as turtlenecks, but you're right, they are, aren't they? Because yeah.
Well, yeah, because you've got the jacket, and then the actual thing here is like more of a turtleneck fabric.
It's not a sheer turtleneck because you kind of got the neck divide, so it's
yeah.
Fashion track.
I was like, we got a few new people in chat. Let's talk about turtlenecks for 4 hours.
Sorry, should we be silent for the national anthem?
Listen, I don't know if you know this, but Captain Jean-Luc Picard created the tactile neck, and we need to talk about that.
Yeah, Discovery did overdo it with the cold open, so like you're just like, oh yeah, intro. I completely forgot this was a thing after about 15 minutes.
Yeah, you get like 15-minute long, like, wasn't Strange New Worlds have one that's like 20 minutes into the episode?
Yeah, well, I'll have to find out what the longest cold open is.
I think it's like a season 1. I think it's like Spock and Mock or something like that. Yeah.
The turtleneck talk. Turtleneck talk.
It's an important conversation to have.
That's true. We did. When did we do Fashion Trek? That was about 3 years ago.
That was a while ago. Yeah, I feel like we could probably do an updated version if we wanted to.
Yeah. I was just as Prodigy season 1 had finished.
So that was what, like 2019?
No, later than that.
Maybe 2021-ish?
Maybe, yeah.
Listen, space is warped and time is bendable. I don't know.
I was going to say, we didn't start this channel till 2020.
Oh, God, really? Wow. Only 3 divisions? That seems rather small. I mean, he's not right to be annoyed. Yeah. He's not wrong to be annoyed.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this episode's going to go well for me.
In my duffel bag.
Yeah, David Ward is awesome.
I just remembered we get Data in Red in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Data in Red.
He's dancing with
me.
He
dances for me.
Cheek to cheek. Like an
android cheek to cheek,
yes.
Yeah.
Like an android's bottom, eh, Data?
I mean, Will, if you didn't keep passing up every command offered to you.
Wow.
Need somebody that can keep up with them.
Yeah, no, with the second-rate power that can barely keep pace with the Federation.
Get used to that Riker face. He's going to have it the entire episode.
I mean, if they stop giving him reasons to look like that.
Dude, I hate these.
Yeah, they're shit.
These velvety, smooth cave floors. They bother the hell out of me.
Mr. Worf only plays on easy. He just wants to play it for the story.
Yeah, that is kind of out of character for him.
I would love if a rock hit and went blue, 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 blue.
Yeah, why are they complaining so much? Like, they know it's a tough mission, right?
Well, I mean, because he's not telling them anything about it.
Yeah, they also haven't really... Not that they get a choice, but this is very much of, like, complete culture shock to them. You know.
It's because they're on the turbo soft love boat all the time.
Oh, what a nice guy!
Yeah. I love the energy.
Yeah.
I love the energy.
Yeah, Ronnie Cox is great. He had a very good role in Stargate as like a recurring villain, kind of, but he was pretty much same energy.
I love how much of a meme this has become.
Yeah. Bill.
Billiam, sir.
Nice.
I mean, if it starts, 735 starts with 7, so I think he knows it's on deck 7.
Well, I mean, I think that it would help if you didn't continually interrupt him every time he tried to finish a fucking sentence. But, you know.
The crew, the Cairo's just warping away and there's like a small firework display going off in the back.
Just you need.
I like that they're the only two wearing them.
Hmm.
Looks like Picard and Jellicoe are getting married. Good for them. Love wins.
That's part 3.
Preppy Trekkie, his name Jellicoe reminds me of the rhyme. There's a bird named a pelican whose beak can hold as much as his belly can. So,
I don't know, Captain Edward Jellicle Cat. That's what I hear.
Oh, well, I never was
There you go. Thank you,
so
Otto.
clever
Thank
as
you.
Captain Edward Jellicoe.
I
gotta do that
Troy's,
parody song now.
R.I.P. Troy's neckline.
Honestly, I think she always looked more attractive
She
in
does
the
look so
uniform
much
anyway,
better,
but you know.
yeah.
usually it's just some bad roll. We've got a phaser.
Yeah.
Is that the reason
killer.
why Nechayev and Jellicoe don't like them? Because like they keep on killing every animal they come across.
Stop getting me promoted.
Just read my thoughts, Troy. Oh, wait, you can't.
Wow.
Mother something.
Yeah, Overtide's got a point of transfer command on the bridge, not the and why are we doing it in the bar?
Yeah, Guinan's not even there.
Yeah.
See, Jellicoe's looking to help.
Yeah.
Mission comes first.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Captain. How many captains out of 10?
There are 2 captains.
Delta shift.
I was going to talk to you about it first.
Dude, Riker's getting a lot of shit so far.
Yeah.
Eater dude.
Oh, only one captain this time.
Thank you for your vaguely dismissive tone. Now that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Reklar. I always love that name.
Do you think if Picard had left, if Patrick Stewart had left after season 3 and they brought in Ronnie Cox as full time with this energy?
Save that for the review because you can dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
Not good enough, damn it. Not good enough.
He's Leah Brahms now.
Don't tell Geordi.
Hey there, Gemma. Good to see you.
I love battle drills. So that is like the only time where he's been rude / dismissive so far. Like in all the other instances, he's explained and asked them to do something. This time he's like, "Get it out of here." So.
I feel a pros and cons coming up for the Jellicoe debate.
Dude, he loves Data.
Well, yeah, because Data won't say no.
Well, he gets it done. And hydroponics. Yeah, okay.
What am I going to do with all these rocks?
I believe we're shutting down the nerd department, sir.
All the blue shirts. They can sit
Yeah,
on
Keiko's going to have to get a real job now. Uh-oh. Dude, I love that look by Brent. He's slightly confused. It's just a step to the right.
Have you seen those? I think they're done with AI, but this scene where he tells her to kind of get something more, and she comes and she's there wearing like a rubber duck outfit,
the chicken suit. Yeah. See,
not good enough, damn it.
You keep on rubbing everyone the wrong way.
Are we going to meet in Loggerhead Stars about Jellicoe?
Maybe. I'm just saying, I knew plenty of managers with my retail capacity who were like Jellicoe, and I hated every one of them.
Yes. That doesn't mean he's a bad character. He might be a kind of a
I
douche,
don't think he's a bad character, but I think he's an asshole.
Her approach doesn't hold a lot of
That's
water,
what-
though. I mean, it's not everybody on the Enterprise's first assignment to be on the Enterprise. They all came from somewhere.
Yes.
They had to do
Yeah.
it different.
It is the flagship, too. It's not like a undermanned research vessel or something.
And it's also a case of, like, I understand that, like, you want to be at full readiness, but, like, they have handled situations far and above and beyond what you've ever done with.
Also, he's not really dismissive of her here. Like, he's saying, I hear your concerns, but
Yeah.
you have experience. Go ahead and handle it.
See, this is the one point I will absolutely agree with him on.
Yeah, he's right, and he conducted this entire scene very informally, showing off his drawings and calling her Deanna when she first came
Yeah.
in. You know, he's really riding the line very finely. And
I mean, I will say that, like, I've had plenty of managers who will try and make themselves seem more, who will try and ingratiate themselves toward you by introducing elements of their personal life right before shafting you right in the ass. So I appreciate the attempt to blunt it, but, like, it reminds me of a lot of people I've had a lot of problems with in my life. I feel like that's one of the differentiators between how you react to Jellicoe is whether or not you've had someone like him in your life.
I like this scene.
Actually, that's why I really like Geordi's point of view, where he's like, I don't mind hard work, but you got to make it reasonable.
Yeah.
Reminds
Yeah,
me
I like
of,
this scene as well. I forgot about this one.
Reminds me of Booby Trap, where Picard is writing him. He's like, I need an answer within minutes, Mr. LaForge, and he's under stress. And
Which I won. And I was a
I'm
freshman,
better.
and I had a false heart.
he rode Boothby to victory.
Yeah, but that wasn't the marathon.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, your fish is in the bathroom sink. Good luck.
Livingston's been stewing in his own juices for the last 5 hours.
It's lovely over some kale.
I hate his decor. What the fuck is that in the corner?
It's called
It is
Starbucks.
fucking weird, those plants.
Yeah, you didn't tell him you wanted that. He has accomplished more than you ever will.
Don't take it too personally, Stars.
I guess what? Like...
I love the way Picard exits this scene.
It's mine. My own. My precious.
Yeah, see, that line makes me go, okay, you really enjoy having a Galaxy-class starship, don't you? That's a very polite, go fuck yourself. Just takes
Okay,
it.
but
Whoosh!
no, that's just twisting the knife because he's not going to take that on the mission. So
Yeah, that's a clear your shit out of your office, you're fired move, really. Like, my son who doesn't talk to me.
So we're 20 minutes in. Nothing's really happened, but it's still pretty fascinating.
Oh, it's pretty gripping, yeah.
20 minutes of personnel reassignment.
Yeah, and it's great.
Feynman. Who was that?
Looks like they're
That
an
is a
interpretive
physicist.
dance troupe.
The black man.
They're on their way to Revenants, yeah.
The Moomin Shans.
You can't, Auto. Can you just say you can't? That cannot be a group name.
No, probably not.
I am the sugar plum fairy.
Oh, big shocker. Big shocker there. Worf's unfamiliar with science.
I know, it's a weapon. You'd think he'd be familiar with it.
Oh, that's true.
I've heard about this. It was in an X-Men storyline once. Oh, this is just, what is it, neutronic
Neutron bomb.
warheads?
Neutron bomb.
Yeah, neutron bomb, yeah.
Patrick Stewart looks pretty sexy in black.
Oh, yeah.
It does look like someone's just
Nice little bit of racism.
Like they're just transparency added, taken out the uniform, and you could just put something else there.
Yes.
Well, if someone
Go
done
to
edits
town,
of the
Idol.
scene, that'd be hilarious,
That
yeah.
would be quite funny.
Put them all in like Christmas jumpers. It's kind of a very
It's
Star
Vanta
Trek
Black.
Christmas.
When they touch their comm badge, it just goes meow 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 meow.
Worf's just
Here's
checked
a
out.
Game
He's like,
Boy.
let me know when we
The
get there.
Game Boy Worf.
I do not wish to play Kirby, sir.
I beat this level. Here you go, Bev.
Okay. How has that not become like the crux of a billion YouTube poops? We are all desire to penetrate.
Wreck it.
Your
so-called
presence
badass.
here is obvious.
Yeah. You will get to kill any Cardassian we find.
Oh, we lost Auto again. Tormund 5.
There are 5 Tormunds. I feel like I've seen that exact alien exterior a million times before.
I feel like this is where the padding starts to come into play.
This might be, yeah. Anytime TNG does one of these scenes, it always comes off as very awkward.
Man, look at smart casual Worf.
Where'd you get that blouse?
Purple is his color.
He's going to start singing Octung and Melota.
Bev's just in her dressing gown.
Dude, I actually like TNG Ferengi. Oh, that's a Myzarian behind him. I never noticed that before.
That's cute.
From the episode Allegiance.
That's a great episode.
No. It's
Self-restraint be forbidden!
Allegiance is good. I like it. Anyway, we'll get to that.
I think I gave it a 2 when I last reviewed
wow.
I'm not a narc. Do I look like a narc?
I mean, this is essentially Star Wars: A New Hope. Like, this is Greedo and Han Solo.
Well, it's...
it's Obi-Wan and Han Solo. Oh no.
Oh, this bit, yeah.
This is why
No,
the Enterprise
this is
has the women on it.
It should have been Worf that done that, and this is the reason they brought Worf.
Worf giving him umox. Yeah. Oh, I love. He starts shaking. When do you want to leave?
Worf and Picard just like, this is my life. This is my career. These are my choices.
Picard's like, you lot go on without me. I just need to sit here for a minute.
Oh my god.
She gives him a look like she just cracked a bank vault.
We have changed into our pajamas.
Not gonna pick up the 5 minutes this way.
Yeah, no, like, guys, why are we moving so slowly? Like, you were fucking huffing it. I know we've been through this set 17 times over the course of the last 2 seasons, but...
I can't see a thing. If only they had brought some lights.
The Palm Beacon.
This isn't a conversation you could have had on your way here?
Yeah, what was the training for if not this?
Yeah.
Like his eyebrows go outside of his head, his headband.
A Beltran bat?
Okay. That was a great end to that scene.
Yeah, that was not awkward at all.
Oh, I love this part. Dude, look at how many pictures.
He's got it all
at least 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although he only explained it this way so he could look smart in front of his officers.
Yeah,
he didn't have to go to his ready room. He could have stayed on the bridge.
Yeah.
Slow pull in. Who's director on this?
I have it written down.
Robert Shearer. 14. He did Measure of a Man, Peak Performance, Defector. Wow.
Does steal my bits? Right. They literally did train for this.
Well, I think they do mention that the maps are 2 years old, so...
Because they keep rearranging the caves every 2 years. So,
Yeah, it wasn't feng shui enough.
I love Pissy Wolf. Oh,
good
it's so good.
Yeah. Just a perfect moment to be a bitch, Wolf, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Put the gimp suit on.
Wow. The caves are made out of clay.
Snake peeps.
I like how we're still using like steel carabiners in the 24th century.
If it works.
Yeah, can't improve on perfection.
Yeah.
But to make it sci-fi, when they go down, it goes. Wee, woo, 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 woo.
You are not afraid of lines getting tangled. Like, all right, Worf. All right.
Wait, we needed those. Why did we throw them away?
You're not afraid of breathing, are you? All right, Worf, that doesn't mean anything.
You're not afraid of being afraid, are you?
Picard's just like, got him, Worf. Good job, buddy.
Do you want the duck or the chicken?
I do like the angular Cardassian uniforms.
Mm. They've always been
hard plastics, hard leather.
I like that he
sort of.
steals his chair too. That's hilarious.
Yeah, back to the Batcave.
If this alarms you.
Cardassian.
You can even hear the leather creak as he leans in.
Mm.
Oh. Riker's like, and this guy got the job over me? Really?
Well, it's also a case of like Riker and Troy are on your side. You don't tell them what you're going to do here before you do it.
He's like, got him.
That's probably my biggest problem with him. Is he wants everyone to think he's cool and clever.
Yeah.
I mean, it works better for a television show. It would be boring the other way, but still.
Yeah.
Also, how often do we see Riker and Troy work together on a mission?
Wasn't there that cut library scene from Insurrection? That was
so fun. Yeah, I like that whole scene.
I know, but I mean, for how close they are, they really don't do a lot of mission stuff together.
Well, I think that's just a general casualty of Troy not being a lot to be given done in terms of plot critical stuff. Not afraid of climbing, are you, Doctor?
Not afraid of thinking, are you, Doctor? Oh no, what have we started?
Maybe one of the dumbest recurring bits you've ever done, but I enjoy it.
Now we're all waiting for the next line to pounce on it.
Yeah, Booter says, Wolf, you're not afraid of being a dad, are you?
Oh, got him. Yeah, this cave stuff is kind of padded out.
Padding, yeah. What is that about the crack? My crack? My
Gotta
what?
work on your foreplay talk, Picard.
You think that's like a 24th century of snakes and ladders, tubes and cracks?
Damn it, I set it on polyhedron.
Oh.
I mean, I think the phaser did most of the work, but, you know. I also love that that's completely fine to climb through. That's not hot at all.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
It's the Mother Horda hole.
And that's what they brought Worf
It was
for.
well done.
To press the button.
That's what the tactile neck Nuke is for.
The little pause as he introduces them is a good line read from
Is
the
it me or is
guest
the
star.
table extra long today?
No, I think you just don't see it from this angle that often.
Yeah.
Lemek was guarding his chair that time.
He put
You
his
won't
towel
get
down
me a
on it.
musical
So
finish this time.
It's like fucking West Side Story. I'm gonna start clicking their fingers in a minute.
The fierce gaze, yeah.
Mm.
Dude, Riker should have shown up with his Angel One uniform for this one.
Talk about provocative, yeah.
Yeah, distract the Cardassians.
I mean, I'd be distracted. However,
Dude, everyone's up and down a lot.
I don't know if I like this shot. It's weird.
I think they're trying to accentuate the distance between them. There's only so many angles you can use in here. Very serious. I like this guy. I can look him up.
I appreciate how deeply sunk in his eyes are as well. Like, they knew what they were doing with the makeup here.
John Durbin.
Oh, I feel like I've heard that name.
I feel like I've also heard that name
He's done a
before.
few
Oh
other
yeah,
characters.
he's in Voyager, DS9, and 2 TNGs.
Yeah.
He's not the Nazi guy, is he? Or is that a different one?
No, that's J. Paul.
That's the one, yeah.
Noted.
Man, that shit-eating grin. This guy should have come back in DS9. Make him the Wait.
There's a pan
No, he's not the Kardashian
They
who
have
was
their
in season 7.
They have their step counter going up and down in the conference room.
The longer table lens. You're not wrong.
Man, how much tunnel did Worf carve?
Yeah, when the Antedians... It's a hell of a phaser. Yeah, they got the longer table lens. When the Antedians came aboard, they had the fisheye lens.
Okay. Oh.
I'm gonna shoot a rap video
Thank
with
you,
my
I'll be here
friend.
all week.
Yeah. Not afraid of getting buried, are you, Doctor?
Damn it. I'm not going to say it.
Leave her behind. She's dead weight. Yeah, they could have shortened this cave stuff by like 6 minutes.
Easily, yeah, pretty easily. Like, it's not bad, but it's just not. It's plainly not as interesting as what's going back on the ship.
Yeah, any of these scenes in isolation is fine. Having like 4 of them is a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's surplus to requirement, really.
That's very cool. I like that. That's a great shot.
Yeah. They need to do more stuff with phasers. Or lasers.
Not afraid of shields, are you, Beverly? Damn it. I'm going to bring
Not
it up
afraid of
in
8.5 ratings, are you, Idol?
I'm going to bring it up in like 3 episodes' time. It's going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
It'll be up there with the 17 varieties of tomato soup.
Yeah.
It's a trap!
Oh, Macho Wolf.
Macho Wolf. Wow, okay. That man's dead.
Good kayfabe.
The slowest fucking door of all time. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Wolf gets hit by the gazer. No way out.
I will kill them all.
He'll be fine. He likes eggs.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid you've caught me with all my hands up.
Eileen, yeah, I swear what I mean.
I've used that shot 3 times now.
Listen, it's called economical use of resources.
I love Data announcing it every time.
Yeah, like a fucking speaking clock.
Oh, that's what they were playing on the Game Boy, and the shuttle was Celtris.
Ooh, Priority 2.
Yeah, no, Priority 1 I would assume was the most urgent, but I guess Priority 2 is for something just a little bit underneath that. The chair just comes on. We've succeeded in our plot to get rid of Picard. Da 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 da.
Just not Riker.
Here comes the legend. The man.
The myth.
The Madrid.
Cinematographer and lighting department went crazy here, to be honest.
Start the George Michaels.
I have your warranty card right here.
A plot to start a Romulan war.
Mr. Bond.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. To be continued. Okay, right. Let me turn a few things off. Switch these things. I just need to work on a layout quickly because, and then we'll get on with the review. So let me just talk amongst yourselves briefly.
Not afraid of layouts, are you, Idol?
I could have forgotten that Madrid was only second half. I thought it was
no, this is
brought in late in the first.
Well, you forgot how much padding there is in with the cave.
Got a lot of padding in your cave, have you, Stars?
It's not since he cleaned out his lava tubes.
Yeah, phase of setting 16 really helped that. Don't worry about it.
I'm nearly there. Had to tweak something.
There, far.
I'm there. I'm here. Okay. Let's have a review, shall we? Let's press the right button. Hello everyone and welcome to Star Trek, our ongoing journey through the episodes of Star Trek. And we've been brought to our first sort of proper two-parter, or a second set of episodes tangled together in the middle of a season two-parter. As picked by Dan, we are reviewing Chain of Command Part 1, and then we'll be reviewing Part 2 in the next episode. But Dangevin, please tell us, in your draft pick, in our drafts, which we did earlier in the year, why Chain of Command? What episode? Why does this stick out to you as one of the best of TNG?
Well, I want to say my draft pick was Chain of Command Part 2, but we have to eat our peas before we have our desserts. So no, there's a lot of merit after having just watched this again. You know, it's interesting how they're playing with the power dynamics, and the whole theme of the episode is Chain of Command, and that could refer to shackles, but it could also just refer pretty on the nose to what the entire crew has to go through and what part Picard has to go through when he's out of his element. And so the setup, I think, is necessary. Yeah, there's padding, of course, but I didn't think it had to be like that. There are certain other scenes that I was kind of hoping and wishing would happen with Jellicoe on. The other thing I'll mention too is that it's really interesting. If this were done as a season finale, it would have been super effective because people would have been kept off guard as to whether this is going to be a permanent change or not. So having it be mid-season took a little bit of the wind out of the sails of this finale, this cliffhanger here. But I'm a huge fan of classic Doctor Who, and I love having my cliffhanger finales. So nothing makes me happier than a two-parter with a good ending like this. So
you love it when Sylvester McCoy just dangles from his umbrella for no reason off a piece of ice. Yeah,
man, it's insane. Like I think there was an early Doctor Who, like one of the second Doctor ones. Yeah, there was like a 10-part episode. It was great. Yeah, back in those days. Too many cliffhangers. But
Hour of the Daleks, I think. Yeah, ridiculous.
So yes, this is Chain of Command Part 1, which we've just watched, and after this, if you're watching with us live, we'll be watching Part 2. This was directed by Robert Shearer, who also did such episodes as A Measure of a Man, banger, Peak Performance, really good, State of Flux, I think was good, Shadow Play, good, all-round good direction. We did note some interesting camera shots in this angle. I observed the long table shot. I was like, have they extended the table? No, they're using, as auto-quipped, the Antidean eye lens on that one. The direction
that's what
I said. Story was done by Frank Abbott. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation for this. Abetamarco. Did Schisms. Did A Fistful of Datas. Did Ship in a Bottle. And most importantly, Time's Arrow Part 2. There were some other credits as well.
Not Part 1?
No, not Part 1. Funnily enough, no. Someone else wrote that, which I find quite strange that someone different can write Part 1 and Part 2, but maybe there was a writing.
That is odd.
That is an odd one. Teleplay was done by Ronald D. Moore, who we all know as now showrunner of Deep Space Nine and Battlestar Galactica, and on. Very famous name. Gentlemen, discuss this episode, please. What do you take away from this? Because we've all come in with different expectations as Part 1 after not seeing it for a while. Because I think generally, if you watch Chain of Command, you tend to watch them together. You don't watch Part 1 and walk away and go, I'll watch that later. You tend
Can
to
you
just
imagine?
Go like...
Can you imagine? They're like, it wasn't very good. I'll skip the Part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting, Dan, that you mentioned that, if this had been put at the very end of the season, it would have been a very, very effective long gap cliffhanger. Because I was thinking, people always talk about the legendary gap between Best of Both Worlds Parts 1 and 2, and this very easily could have been in much the same sort of vein. And yet they elected just no, we'll just let you wait. We'll make you wait a week one. That's it. And it's just you really could have milked this. I feel like most people would not have cared if you had. People would judge Descent way less harshly if that were in this spot, and if this were Chain of Command in the other spot. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot there. But on the other hand, I do think this episode is a good example of how you can use the cliffhanger to create a really good sense of suspense, even if it's only for a short amount of time. And structurally, I think it does help the episode and build anticipation for the second part, which you would lose if it was just all one part. So, because we're going to talk about how there is some padding in this episode, but on the other hand, I'm like, having that cliffhanger, even if it only lasts for like, however long it takes you to get a drink and then come back from your Netflix binge, like that's still an effective storytelling device as opposed to just continuous flow. But I don't know. I kind of think curious what you guys' thoughts on that.
And now you talk.
Yeah.
What's about it, guys?
I like playing review chicken. No, it's review chicken. Even if we have something to say, we're going to see how long we can hold the moment.
You look like you have something to say. Do you?
Keep them waiting in the conference room for an hour.
I'll be the pun intended dissenting voice. I don't think it would have mattered that much. I mean, we kind of already had our Picard was captured two-parter with Best of Both Worlds at the end of a season. I would imagine Trek nerds being what they are, if they would have done this at the end of the season, people would have complained, oh, we already had Best of Both Worlds, why are you doing the same plot again? Or something like that. Plus, Descent is just garbage, so I don't think putting it at the end of a season would have helped that anyways. So I think it was fine. You know what they're going for. You know that he's going to have some bad stuff happen to him at the hands of the Cardassians. So I think it's fine the way it is in terms of suspense.
So I have a few questions here. How were the Cardassians set up previously? We've seen them in a few different episodes. They were only
the
Wounded.
The Wounded Ensign Row will have aired by now.
Yeah,
I'll have to check the running order.
But I don't think we actually see the Cardassians in Ensign Row. It's all from the Bajoran side of things.
Well, fun fact. So the actual outfit, the traditional Cardassian outfit we see, the very deliberate V, this is the first time that's used in all of Star Trek.
Oh,
so
really?
this is the first time. And with this being literally the next episode after this is DS9's The Emissary. We are literally getting a full front reintroduction kind of into the Cardassians. This was intended to be a crossover episode with DS9. However, it came out too soon. They couldn't push it back enough into the schedule because of various filming constraints. So they had to... Originally, Quark was going to be Damon Solok. That was going to be Quark. That scene was going to be set on DS9. But unfortunately, because the DS9 pilot didn't air till much later, they couldn't push it back. So the fun thing is, the actual scene in the bar is DS9's Replimat set. So when they're interviewing him, then they just filmed it at really tight angles to kind of hide it and do that. So yeah, they did use some DS9 moments in there pre-Emissary, but yeah, they couldn't quite get that mix. I wonder if they should have used Quark anyway, because it would have been a little fun introduction to the character.
It's a case of if it would have been on DS9, like
could have had
would it have been on DS9 or would have been on the same different planet? Yeah.
Oh, that's true. It would have been over Bajor, but still, they could have made it work.
So I was pretty young when Voyager aired, so I don't know what my reaction at the time would have been, but I don't think it did a ton for the Voyager premiere for that to be intertwined with Quark and Deep Space Nine. So I don't know if it really would have added a ton.
It was more for the tradition of, I think, because at the time it was just like, right,
holding hand the torch.
Yeah, hand the torch. So the pilot episode has someone from the previous series, which they have abandoned since, which is a shame. But yeah.
Well, I mean we get Bashir on. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Deep Space Nine is a spinoff, so that's how TV was done back in the days. You have to have your connector to make your spinoff work. You got to have, Fonzie show up on the Happy Days spinoffs, otherwise, nobody tunes in. So.
Actually, Birthright's not that long after this. It's only like 5 or 6 episodes after.
I was going to say, you do still get your DS9 crossover there.
Yeah, so it does happen, but like they say, they put it off until then. So yeah, that's your fun facts. Another fun fact. Would you like to hear a fun story from Michael Dorn?
I always want to hear fun stories.
So Michael Dorn was relating a story about the production of this episode to the cast at the Calgary Expo. While shooting, as you're aware, that Picard, Patrick Stewart, Gates McFadden, and Michael Dorn were working in that cave set. And two of the cast, Dom and Stuart, were laughing uncontrollably because they found out that actually during the filming of this set there were a lot of stray cats on set roaming around, and as the set was covered in sand, do you know what cats like to do in sand? And Michael Dorn asked Stuart, was like, what he's laughing about, and Stuart said, I don't know how I got here. I was at a seminar at Santa Barbara. The next thing you know, I'm crawling around in cat shit. Yeah. Now, there's your fun fact for this episode.
Every time I hear your impersonation of Patrick Stewart, all I can hear is, those motherfuckers are eating my lilies!
They chewed up my petunias!
That's all I can hear.
Motherfuckers! So go on.
For the worst segue ever, I want to talk about something that I really enjoy with this part one. And if you look this definition up online or in a dictionary, professionalism porn, you will find TNG at the top of the list. People like watching guys, men and women, be professional in their jobs, work together to solve a problem. That's like quintessential Star Trek, right? So I'll bring in an early segment here. I'm going to ask you guys, what other show would you have liked to have seen Jellicoe come on?
Hang on. No, you carry on.
We can't hear the triggers anyway, so if you're going to run them, you got to let us know, and then...
Okay, here it is. Here it comes.
Speaking of professionalism porn, Captain... Oh, my God.
You idiots! These are not them. You've captured their stunt doubles!
There you go. There's your trigger. You asked me for the trigger. Carry on.
Speaking of professionalism...
All right.
If I could have Jellicoe turn up on the show.
Ronnie Cox Jellicoe is the perfect fit for this TNG cast because they are professionals all the time. They're used to this stuff, and just the way that they silently grind their teeth under his iron grip, I think, is really fun to watch. So yeah, what other shows could, like Deep Space Nine? I don't think they would handle that. I think, if you go TOS, Bones would flip his lid. So I'll go last. But what series would you guys want to see Jellicoe come on and take command for a two-parter?
Oh, it's going to be Voyager. Like, that would be... Imagine Jellicoe dealing with Neelix. Or Seven. Like, Jellicoe and Seven scene would be amazing. And or the Doctor. Like,
a lot of them would break his nose.
Yeah, the Voyager is, like, now you think of it, Jellicoe in that situation, there are a lot of misfits that do their best, really, in that situation. I think Tuvok would be the only one that would probably sort of maybe agree with him.
I don't know, I think Tuvok would find him to be a dick.
Would they download him into Doc's mobile emitter and send him off to the Delta Quadrant?
I'd like to see Jellicoe show up on The Office.
Dude, Dwight Schrute would be his data. He would follow every command to the letter.
Yeah. No, all the parts are in place, just nobody wants to do their job anyways. So.
Okay, can I get him to appear on Prodigy so he has to deal with children?
He was on Prodigy!
Yeah, but not interacting with the kids.
No, that's true. He was only on the comms
especially considering the fact that he has kids of his own, so I'd be curious to see if that would open up another angle to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Booter wants to replace the Brigadier with Jellicoe.
From Doctor Who.
Yeah, the Third Doctor would no. Yeah. That's how you get the Third Doctor to leave Earth forever.
How about you?
John Pertwee would not stand for that.
You only like the Brigadier because he was a pushover.
Yeah. Well, they're in love.
I would go Deep Space Nine because I think Odo would have a hell of a time with him. He's always talking about, if you let me handle things the way I want to handle it, and more order and more guards and more security. I bet Jellicoe would let him have... He would let him have the run of the station. That would be a lot of fun.
You think that Odo and Jellicoe would get in the mother of all fucking screaming fits, because it would be like Odo wants to have things in a very particular quasi-fascistic way, and Jellicoe wants it another way, and that'd be it. It'd be a one disagreement between them, and that'd be it. They would hate each other forever. That's it. They would be killing each other. It would be all over. To say nothing of, like, Quark would be off the station, Kira would kill him.
They would rebond over Quark, though, I think.
Or that's how you get Quark and Oda to team up, is they fight against Jellicoe.
I mean, it's an interesting.
Oh, that would be fun too. Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
It's just reminding them of our Star Trek improv where you were Quark and Odo. But
Quark.
It's an interesting through thought because, you know, this episode's setting up that Jellicoe has dealings with the Cardassians, and this episode itself, you know, you could have seen that maybe Jellicoe would be the captain of DS9 and being put in that situation because he's the best qualified. I mean, thankfully we get Avery Brooks instead, but it's an interesting thought experiment.
So let's talk about. So Riker was abrasive to Jellicoe first. Like I think Riker started it, to be honest. He was, even the very first meeting, he was kind of eye-rolly and dismissive.
And Jellicoe was great in that scene. He walked in, was like, "How you doing?" Well,
right.
Yeah.
He came on strong and he was giving out orders, but it didn't. He didn't really have to explain himself. He's not obligated to. But Riker, the fact of the matter is, Riker didn't get it done. You know, he kept coming up with excuses about how the department heads and my goodness. And so the question is, the whole basis of them bringing on Jellicoe instead of promoting Riker to the captain's chair, it looks like Nechayev is in on this whole scheme too. And there's some implicit understanding between Nechayev and Jellicoe about what Riker may have done. And it's more than just what's stated overtly here, that he's passed up the command chair multiple times.
It's mentioned,
so what has he done in canon in previous episodes and seasons to really screw up so badly that he's got such a shit list with Starfleet
I think
Central
it's
here?
the rejecting the commands, honestly, because I think like you give someone a command and you've got the space and you're willing to put the time and invest in them, and they say, "Actually, I'm quite here on my cozy little desk job," you know, and this kind of doesn't look good, and especially offering him 3 times, it could just kind of look to him as like, well, he's not a guy. It's like the Picard and Tapestry, He's, Picard, given the chance to change choices he had in his life, was stuck at being a lieutenant junior grade with no options. That's kind of Riker now. He's comfortable, but he secretly doesn't have a desire for his own command because he's comfortable where he is. And I think Starfleet see that at this point.
Well, I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think that because this all comes up in Best of Both Worlds, is that Riker is more comfortable and more seasoned and more fulfilled being a first officer on the Enterprise, the most exciting and interesting ship in the entire Federation, versus being captain on a podunk little ship like whatever it was, like the Excalibur or the Melbourne, or shall I say the Cairo. There is a certain level of prestige and assignment that you only get on the Enterprise that you do not get with those other ships.
There is that.
And I think it's a case of, I think they probably resent the fact that he will not open up the chair to other people that they think would be a better fit for that position, who could get valuable expertise like Shelby. I think there's also a degree to which, there's numerous admirals that Riker has been by proxy responsible for killing at this point, thanks to stuff like conspiracy.
The Quinn agenda.
And then there's also just a case of like, they talk repeatedly about how Riker will use unconventional methods. Like that's a big plot point in Peak Performance, is that he will do things that are not Starfleet protocol. And I could see that rubbing people the wrong way. But there's also just like a case of, we talk about the chain of command, and Nechayev and Jellicoe, it's not just Riker or Geordi or Troy that they, kind of rub up badly against. They managed to rub up badly against Picard as well. And Picard in and of himself, like, what is it that Satie says in the drumhead? Would it shock you to know that you've broken the Prime Directive 7 times? It shocked the hell out of me. Like, we regard Picard and the Enterprise crew as paragons of Starfleet, and that's kind of going into Idle. You've been watching Picard season 1, and some of that plays into it.
Yeah.
But from Starfleet's perspective, they're all a load of maverick assholes who regularly break the rules because it suits them and because they can justify it. And it's a lot harder to recall someone when they're out on the frontier doing the hard work, as it were. So I think that from the Nechayev and Jellicoe's position, they're looking at a lot of people who are very used to doing things their own way, and they're like, well, surely we can do better. Which is a very middle management thing to do, is to come in and be the new broom and think, well, I can do things better. If we just do this, if we just change that, and it's like, okay, maybe a 4-shift rotation works better on the Cairo. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't work on a Galaxy class starship. You don't know. You aren't. You don't know anything about the ship actually. And every time that Riker tries to bring up these things, or even just like, why wasn't I told about Delta Shift not being ready? I was going to tell you after the whole procedure to get you installed as captain. It's like it wasn't like he was avoiding having the conversation. He was just presenting things like in a kind of a logical way. This is the way I would have done it. Like I wouldn't be like, "Hey, you're about to get sworn in, Captain. By the way, the Delta Shift isn't ready yet."
And that's why you'll never make it on the Cairo.
Oh no! Not this Excelsior class starship that was.
Hey,
like
Excelsior's
we
wrong.
made a joke about. Well, I don't know, man. They're like what 300 years old. And it's this thing of like, I'm sure that Jellicoe shows himself to be a very, very good administrator. He is very good at allocating tasks. He knows exactly who his staff are and what they're capable of.
Yep.
But he is very condescending. And it's a case of, yes, he wants things done in his own way, but there's no real room for pushback. It's either his way or the highway. And I think that anyone who's been in a position where they have to answer to a retail manager or a line manager, or even, let's say, like a military superior who refuses to have any kind of real personal dynamic with you, like, he opens up parts of his personal life and then immediately closes off and never asks, Riker about his personal life or Troy about her personal life. He's not interested in them as people. He's interested in them as names that he can move to get what he wants. Yeah. And people do not respond well to that, I find.
Stars, I like where you're going with this. The whole idea that this is kind of a middle management guy that's failing upwards, and he's always doing what's asked of him, and he shows up and he's cocksure, but Deanna kind of takes the air out of him a little bit by saying, "Yeah, he's really not. He's just acting the part." I guess there's a saying about pretending you can do the job and just kind of
fake it till you make it. Absolutely.
And also, I think Overtired had a great point here too, that Jellicoe didn't expect Picard to make it back. I don't think either of them did, but something you said, Stars, about about Riker passing up all these different assignments that he had been given. He didn't eat his peas before he got his dessert of being captain of the Enterprise. So now they're going to give it to this other guy that said yes at every point along the way. He's always well researched, and talk about doing things by the book. That's exactly how Jellicoe sees the Enterprise. Is just his assembly of briefings and all these names on the page, but he doesn't see the subtext behind any of it, and that's that's where he falls short in coming on to this very well. It's a culture, right? The Enterprise is its own individual culture within Starfleet, and he just fails to kind of grasp that, and that's totally a middle management thing for sure. So,
and it's not to like. Oh, you go.
We're seeing it from Riker's point of view, but I think it actually has nothing to do with Riker. Nechayev is dismissive of him not because it's him, it's because he doesn't matter to the conversation she's about to have with Picard. That's all that is. With Jellicoe, it doesn't matter what Riker does. He's going to be wrong. If he took the ambition, took the initiative to change the rotations, Jellicoe would have said, "Why didn't you do it this way?" Jellicoe's coming on to make an impact, to shake things up. It's the same reason why he doesn't tell them ahead of the conference room scene what he's going to do, because they're not really that important. He wants to make an impact. He wants to shake things up, like I say. And so it could have been anyone in that position. It doesn't matter really what Riker does. It's just he's trying to get a reaction because he needs things to change. He needs to get their attention as soon as possible. So, Riker didn't really do anything wrong, and I don't think I'm kind of a defender of Jellicoe too, so I don't think he was necessarily wrong in this particular situation. Long term, no, that wouldn't work. You'd lose your crew. But for this, for a temporary mission, it's fine.
He's got his bag of tricks, doesn't he? Right? He's got a bag of tricks for the Cardassians and one for the Starfleet people, and he knows how to make people jump. So a question I have, though, is that he seems to be playing with an empty hand, especially with the Cardassians. He walks into the meeting and he thinks all his tricks are going to give him some sort of leverage, but really he doesn't have the intelligence, and the Cardassians do, and they're very much Romulans in this episode, where they're the silent threat we don't know much about, but they seem to just have knowledge about everything. And so the question is, instead of all the padding we got with the caves and whatever, if they had just taken a moment, they were doing poker games at this point, right? Riker's poker game started a couple of seasons ago. Why not have him try to bluff in the poker game and have another interaction between him and Riker, who is an experienced bluffer and always tends to get his way. I just thought, that using existing sets, very cheap, it just would have added a little bit of something, a little bit of subtext to kind of gel it all together, to gel the Jellicoe. And,
there you go.
Yeah, nice.
How many Jellicos? I don't know. All right.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's we've come on pretty hard on Jellicoe here, and I think that's a fairly standard reaction. And I think it deserves a qualifier of I think he's a very well constructed character who is like he's modulated perfectly to hit the elastic membrane that is the Enterprise crew with maximum impact and make all of them upset, apart from Data because he can't be upset. And that's not to say that he's a bad character. Like, I think arguments about whether or not he's a bad captain or not, or if he's a bad person, which I don't think he is. I think he's just like he does things a different way. It's more about like what function he serves in the wider story complex. And I do find it kind of interesting that if you view it from a certain kind of view, Starfleet failed, especially like Starfleet higher ups failed in a lot of places here. They fell completely into the trap. All their intelligence was out of date. The captain of their flagship managed to fall into like a fairly rudimentary trap. And then Jellicoe doesn't really have much of an opening position against the Cardassians other than bluff, which we kind of don't know what his ability is there. And so the whole thing is called chain of command. Well, the chain of command kind of failed a lot of people who are lower out on the end here. They're kind of eating all the shit because people upstairs aren't doing their jobs right. The people in Starfleet intelligence aren't getting the right intel to, they aren't catching the stuff they should be catching. And it's also interesting to me because Jellicoe, as presented, like the way that they talk about him, like bluffing through the Cardassians, the way he acts toward Cardassians, not 100% dissimilar to the way that Sisko would end up handling the Cardassians, actually. If you kind of think about it and squint, like, Sisko knew how to grease the wheel a little bit and be a little bit nicer, and especially when he was handling Dukat, but there is that element of you need to show that you will not be, allow yourself to be pushed. You need to make them wait on you a little bit. So, I don't know, he's a very interesting character in that way, and I do appreciate that he gets an interesting reaction out of pretty much anyone who watches this two-parter.
Okay, how about we move on to our Bread's the section of the show where we talk about the moment of the episode that stood out the most to us, much in the same way that Bread stood out to us in that awful episode of Deep Space Nine. Dan, it's your pick. You go first. What was your Bread of the episode?
Cats.
Cats shitting everywhere in the caves.
Like, we're all waiting for a firefight, and we just get bats and lava tubes for about 20 minutes, and it's just, whatever.
Not afraid of bats, are you, Dan?
No, I am. Stars.
That's my brand. It's not afraid of heights, are you? Not afraid of bats, are you, Worf? Like, that and the fucking 20 iterations on that punchline are going to be what I take away from part 1 of this episode forever. So stupid, I love it.
Go on, Otto.
Otto, what about your bread?
It's when Jellicoe first beams aboard. Just the energy, the gravity he has. He comes charging right down off the transporter pad, and he actually walks like you expect Riker to walk in 20 years. He's got the same sort of lean, and he's kind of hunched over, but he's always got the forward momentum, whatever he's doing, and a great body acting by him. You just look at the character, you know who he is.
Just a great body, yes.
Body of
girl,
work,
look at that body.
What a handsome race. What a basic male image.
Yeah. I'll go with Gul Namek going from, which is an awesome design for a Cardassian, one of the most unique Cardassian designs we see during in all of Star Trek. But he kind of goes from just like, normal Cardassian negotiator, then to his little shit-eating grin at the end. He's like, I hope nothing happens to your friends on the on the surface or whatever it was, and he's just being very like, I know what you're doing, and he's just sort of very playful at that point. So I think it kind of sticks out to me as like complete, not quite a change of character, but definitely change in tone and his negotiating strategy. So I'm going to take as my bread, seeing as Otto stole my one. Hey, that's what it is. Okay, how about...
The best advice I can give you is to just be yourself.
You're the worst thing that ever happened to Zek. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Actually, that's the second best piece of advice.
In fact, you're the worst thing that ever happened to the entire Ferengi Alliance. No. Just stop saying that.
No, I still haven't changed it. I will do one of these days. I'm going to put something in there. It'll be a surprise. I'm going to start because we'll go reverse order. I'll start. I will go with my worst moment, and it's not really a moment, it's more a series of moments, and I know some people like this, and it's part of the professionalism porn, which you might understand why I don't like it as much, but there was a lot of discussion about crew staffing, and, the whole scene in engineering when they were talking about it wasn't even techno babble, it was personnel babble, and it was a bit much for me, and I was just like, I like this. I like the techno babble. I like the scenes of like negotiation and dialogue. But if we're just following Jellicoe around the ship while he goes to different departments and explaining like the benefits of a 4-crop rotation system on his fields, then I'm not as interested in that. So probably I'll go for my worst. My best is going to be the introduction of Madred, because instantly you go, well, even if you didn't know him, you're like, I recognise that face. That looks like David Warner, who has been in 2 Star Trek films up to this point, but also an awesome actor all round as well. And a big Finnish doctor as well, if you didn't know that.
In Unbound, yeah.
On the Unbound series. And his just introduction is like, a challenge. And his first introduction to Picard, you just get the feeling like this isn't the normal Cardassian, this isn't the normal villain of the week. We're going to get some Blofeld Bond level of like David Warnerism here. There's going to be there's going to be something fun here. So that's my best. Best and worst.
Yeah, I'm not above taking the low-hanging fruit anymore. I used to be like, oh, I'll be original. No, fuck that. The cave scenes, like, come on. Yeah. 5 or 6 different cave scenes if we're counting the commercial break. And they were all okay on their own. If you had done like shuttle, cave scene, and then capture with any of those middle and cave scenes, it would have been fine. But to go cave, and we know why they did it that way. My favorite part, I loved the Timberwolf analogy. That must have come right out of the Star Trek Bible. They're like, these are what we want the Cardassians to be, threatening in a pack, but on their own, you can chip away at them. And I think, as much as we love Dukat, he's kind of the antithesis of that, where he tries to be a presence by himself, one-on-one. And I kind of like, I wish they would have stuck more to the Timberwolf, the scary and group stuff, which they kind of end up giving to the Ferengi. But anyway, I like that. And then the next scene when they walk in after his big outburst, Lamech is he gives a few stuttering line reads. I'm like, all right, I like. He did a great job as the guest star, and just that whole sequence of explaining who they are and then showing who they are was a great 1-2 punch.
Stars.
I think my worst might have to go to the scene with Damon Solok. Like you said, like one of the many shitty iterations on the Tatooine Cantina bar scene, which like anytime Star Trek tries to be Star Wars, it's generally pretty cringe. And this was up there, especially with the equivalent of Beverly having to give Solok a Ferengi equivalent of a handy in like public, like while Picard and Worf watch.
Worf in his casuals.
Guess what? She would have been very different and probably more gender equal if Worf had to do it.
That's why they brought him along.
I think if we're going with best, I'm actually going to go with.
By the way, if we ever get a fan edit supercut, you go from the line, "Mr. Worf, your presence here is obvious," right to the Umox. That's where the cut goes.
They just like lots of shots of him looking uncomfortable. My best moment, I'm actually gonna shout out because I don't think anyone would actually say it. They'll probably say about part 2, but not necessarily about part 1. I really appreciate Patrick Stewart in this episode. Like him and Jonathan Frakes are both doing really, really good jobs. Like Frakes you could maybe make the argument he's overdoing it a little bit with how obvious it is he doesn't like Jellicoe, but I think he manages to skirt it to the point where, like, I've been in that situation in real life. I've seen this dynamic play out in a retail environment, and that's how people react. You can't unless you have really like a Vulcan style motion control. You can't stop yourself from acting like that. And I don't know if Frakes maybe had experience being in that kind of dynamic because of his experience with like a moving company, which is where he famously fucked up his back, and that's why he does the Riker-lean and everything. But he channeled that energy very well, and I appreciated stuff like Stewart. Taking the Shakespeare book back and being like, yeah, go fuck yourself, buddy. And also just how convincingly he plays.
Thank you.
And just how convincingly he plays being bone tired when he's like retreating to his quarters and Riker comes in to check on him. You absolutely buy that he's just done like 6 hours of drills. He looks like everything hurts. I've been like that after like an hour or two at the gym, and I've been like, I don't want to fucking move. And you completely buy that even though Riker has literally just gotten an earful off of Geordi, that he can't bring this to Picard. It's not fair of him to make it his problem. He has to deal with it like a big boy. And he does. Like, to his credit, I think there are some people who throw aspersions on Riker saying, oh, he handles this very immaturely. I think that's an example of how he handles this about as well as he possibly could have.
I think it comes more next episode with part 2.
Yes, but like I say to you, then ask me is one of my favorite Riker moments.
Bread. I call it bread.
That's the bread. That's toast. You know what that is?
Gentlemen, hold your breads, please.
Like a grilled cheese toasty. That's the moment. It's not bread. It's a grilled cheese toasty in a moment. But yeah, those would be my best and worst.
Okay. Go, Dan.
All right.
Dan.
My best moment was about 8 minutes ago when Star Wars was having a very well-reasoned analysis of the episode, and Otto's cat climbs up on his shoulder and starts eating out his ear.
He was giving me umox, you know?
He was all the way in there. Orange tongue. So I really like, there was a little bit of a pause after the first conference room scene where Jellicoe pulls out Troy and Riker, and they have an aside, and they're just kind of standing there, and he's like coaching them about what's going to happen next and how he's going to run this negotiation. And it's strange in that he's showing a little bit of his true nature there. He's come on with all this bluster and handing out these almost impossible orders, and now he shows that he really does trust them and need them. It's all just kind of for show, and it's kind of like a lot of what his character is. It's just this big kind of facade that he keeps up, and he lets them both into it then, and then in that moment. And so I think that's where we kind of almost believe that he could potentially take on as the captain if needed. He does trust them to that extent. Worst moment, I think mine was already taken with Beverly given Umox. It's awful, but I'll go one step further. Let's see here. I guess the scene in the 10 forward, that also didn't really make a whole lot of tonal sense, where they were going to do the handoff from one captain to another in the bar. It just doesn't seem like it'd be Jellicoe's style. Picard's done some events in the bar before, and that's fine, but I just don't think that Jellicoe would have agreed to that. He would have wanted something in the shuttle bay more formal, when having everybody present in full dress, and
that's true.
Like that. So that was but they're just using an existing set and keeping it cheap, so I get it.
That was the compromise they had when they were doing their gay wedding. You have to have a bit of give and take.
They should have Data announce Captain in 10 forward when he walks in the room.
Captain in your vicinity.
Okay, gentlemen. Before we move on to the next section, go on.
Yeah. Dory,
totally informed. What did you know? Something
I just like to drop you.
Yeah. Did you notice something unusual about Admiral Elena Nechayev? Otto might know this one.
Her hair is fantastic.
Her hair is fantastic. Anyone else observe something else unusual?
Did she have a comm badge?
She did not have a comm badge on until she was contacted by Jellicoe on Subspace Radio.
I noticed that, yeah.
There you
I
go,
thought that was odd.
That's another little fun fact for you. I would usually go on about the word count, but there's nothing amazing here.
No.
But would anyone like to have a guess who had the least words this episode of the main cast?
Remember when Dan said if we could keep it brief, then we could review both of them. So.
Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. Make it quick.
Of the main cast?
Yeah.
Troy?
No.
Gordy?
Nope.
Data.
Data wins you a...
But it is a very interesting sociological phenomenon, don't you think?
There we go. I just wanted to play. I want to play random
I
trivia.
would have
We don't use
preferred
it
a
enough.
Romulan rubber ducky.
You gotta be real good for the win the Romulan rubber ducky. Now, don't just give that out to anyone. Anyway.
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3.
That's much too low a rating.
I'm just not accustomed to seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
Dan, Jellicoe's ratings, please. What are we scoring this one?
Episode 1 is a little bit more of a mess than I remembered. I really like where they're going with it. I like the change in pace and direction. I like the drama coming from within, throwing the random element in the crew and making him deal with it. We got some of that with Shelby and Best of Both Worlds and coming on and taking the piss out of Riker. But Jellicoe's a different power dynamic here. Shelby was more of Riker's equal, and here we've got a superior that's kind of dressing him down and throwing all kinds of garbage at him to see what sticks. But we still don't really quite get exactly where Jellicoe's coming from, and I guess that mystery is good because we're leading up to a cliffhanger. But I still wish that a few more beats were thrown in that could have really given us a better idea of who Jellicoe was on the Cairo, maybe before he came on board, rather than just going through caves. So I gotta give this episode probably a 7.9. I did enjoy watching it. Ronnie Cox is fantastic.
Sorry, 7.9 what?
Seven. I see. I've got a name.
We'll fix it in post.
I think not quite set Jellicoes we'll go for.
Brilliant.
That's good.
Throw it in the fridge for a few more minutes. So that's going to be our rating today, and I'm going to go 7.9.
7.9.
Not quite set Jellicoes out of 10.
Fantastic. Let's go Auto.
I'm going a little lower than my pre-rating of 9 because I have just watched it. But in your memory, you don't remember 18 Cave things. You remember Riker and Jellicoe going at it. You remember Picard and his handoff and the eye roll at Jellicoe for being a douche. You remember all that good stuff. You remember Gullamek. I remember Gullamek. And they're sparring with the Cardassians. So, it is padded for obvious reasons, but I love the professionalism porn. I love hearing from even the minutia from Geordi, who's like, I don't mind the hard work. Just give me time.
That was a good line.
You empathize with him. And the thing is, you have minor characters who come in like Eamon Maritza from Deep Space Nine's Duet, and you feel for them. In this case, you're not supposed to feel for Jellicoe. You're supposed to feel for Riker and the crew. And Jellicoe is the tool they use to make you feel for them. And I do. I feel for Riker being hammered by every direction. And like I say, Geordi and all that stuff. So he is the perfect tool for this episode. He's a fantastic character. I love how he handles every situation. Obviously, I wouldn't want to serve under him, but for the purposes of this episode, fantastic. So I'm going down a little bit from the padding, but I'm going to go with 8.4, not quite said Jellicoes. I really enjoy all the stuff on Enterprise. It's really nice.
Okay, I'm going to go next. This was a lot slower than I remembered. I definitely thought there was more of the Picard interrogation scene in this, and I realised actually, of course, they keep that as the cliffhanger. And I thought there was more adversarial stuff with Riker. So, yeah, you kind of get sort of long, drawn-out sections with sort of Jellicoe and Riker, long, drawn-out section with the caves and the negotiations, and things take a little bit longer to spin up than I thought. But, you're like, to expand on your point, Otto, Jellicoe is such a refreshing and unique character that it is worth, praise. And your brain start, if you're watching it, at the time your brain starts spinning, going like, oh wow, what if this guy actually is going to be our captain for the next, season and a half, it's a different contrast to Picard's style. It makes you question Picard's style, not question it in a bad way, but just in like, wow, you never really think about these things in relation to Picard's style, like how he manages a 3-shift rotation. When does he do duty missions? Like, how much autonomy does he give, like, Riker, which obviously is quite a lot by considering, and Picard sort of just...
How much crew does he allocate to hydroponics?
Exactly! Do we shut down the geology bay every time we need a deflector dish upgrade? It's just like, what's more important on avoiding space rocks or the rock you have in your den. You know, it's. But yeah, I like the character work that's done there. They put Troy in a uniform, which is amazing because she looks great in it. But yeah, there are parts of this episode that let it down, like the bar scene. I wasn't as thrilled with Jellicoe sort of not informing his crew about what, you know, that he's going to lead the Cardassians on a kind of weird wild goose chase. But it's like, I'm really aggressive, but now I'm happy, but I'm aggressive again. And actually, I'm kind of, he made himself look weak by not letting Riker know the plan, and then Riker could have maybe, you know, helped out in that situation, but whatever. So I'm actually going to go I'm probably going to go for a straight man 7, not quite set Jellicoe's out of 10 on this one. I'm sorry, it's our layman's term, but that's how I feel.
You know, we're all ragging on him, but think of how many dozens of bad admirals we've had before. This is such a fresh take on the
and he's not bad. He's not evil, is he? He's
the upper level guy that you're supposed to dislike.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go 7, not quite set Jellicoe's. Stars, round us out.
I think I'm probably going to surprise you guys. I am going to go down from my original pre-rating of a 9, but not that far. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to make Idol really angry right now, and I'm going to give this 8.5. Not quite set Jellicoe's.
Vindicated.
It's okay if you do it.
It's fine when I do it. I'll always call Idol when he does it. I think there are absolutely valid criticisms to make about, especially the cave scenes and some of the pacing. Like, if you imagine the episode as like a rubber band, every time you're getting, you know, a good stretch of like Jellicoe Riker action, or even just like a tense like scene on the shuttlecraft discussing the scale of what's about to happen, you know, you've got the elastic band starts to stretch. It's like, okay, we're cool, we're tense. And then you start getting like, you know, let's set the phase of 16. Let's start being bitchy to one another. Let's start having conversations we should have had during the long, travel here. And then like the band gets a little bit less taut. But I would say that for the majority of this episode, that band stays pretty tight. And while it's very easy to credit everything to part 2 in terms of what is memorable about this episode, a lot of this setup is integral for part 2. You can't have a joke you can't have a punchline without the setup. You can't just suddenly deliver an amazing episode out of nothing in this format. You need build up, you need tension, you need character establishment, you need stakes and characters to be pushed to a point and then pushed past that point for it to be an effective drama. And without all the stuff that is set out here, I think this would be a way overstuffed one-parter. Like if you tried to cram all this into one bit, I think that would be a way inferior episode. So yes, I think they padded it, and there are better uses, like especially the idea of doing a poker scene was kind of inspired. Actually, I think that's a really, really good idea, Dan. I think that this is still a very good episode in its own right, and it's also a case of like you're judging like one half of an episode when it's intentionally made to be a part 2-parter is always a little bit unfair. You kind of have to judge it by the cohesive whole. So I think that if I'm judging it by what I know part 2 to be and how memorable that is, I have to be a bit more kind to it. So yeah, I think 8.5, not quite set Jellicoe, is that me?
8.5 cohesive wholes, got it.
Yeah.
Dan, since this is your baby, may I ask one more question? I know we want to get rolling. So we have the scene with Jellicoe and Troy, and she's trying to tell him you're being a douche. And he says, well, that's your department. You handle it. And we were always talking, why don't we give her something actual to do in her job? If we were to cut out 1 or 2 cave scenes and give Troy how to handle this, what do you think that would look like? Is there something satisfying she could be doing to help the crew and Jellicoe kind of smooth things over? Or is it just not worth trying to stuff into this episode?
No, I think that she could have had more of an active role in the negotiations and proved her value to him by helping a little bit with the Cardassians' intentions. Because going into that first meeting, they must have known they were going to pull out that intelligence card about the secret mission going on. So you know, she should have had at least that to give him something to play with in his poker hand. And then later on with just a single meeting with her and Riker, just to get Riker to kind of ratchet it down and say, hey, you know, you're really kind of being just as much of an asshole here. And I understand your feelings are hurt because, you know, you deserve the command and anyways, I feel like those two scenes I think really would have helped her out quite a bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Average of the episode is an exact 8.0, not quite set Jellicos from ourselves. So I'll just have a quick look at the breakdown of that, where that sits with other episodes. Same as Broken Bow, same as Past Prologue, same as Blink of an Eye, just better than Emissary. So yeah, sort of sitting not quite as...
Idle.
Yeah.
I think we may have overestimated Broken Bow.
Let me just see who was in the review for that. Hang on. Who was responsible?
I do like it, and I didn't review it.
I don't think Broken Bow was that good.
You gave it an 8 out of 10. As you, me, Shy, and Racing Liners. So you gave it an 8. I gave it a 7.
By your own Picard.
I gave it a 7. Shy gave it an 8. Racing gave it a 9. I'm just saying.
I think Racing might have talked me into liking it more than they should.
Of course. I completely believe you. Anyway, if you are watching live, stick about. We're going to be watching Chain of Command Part 2. But if you're watching on recap on YouTube, we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper. Right, stick about. Let me get
some proper.
Talk amongst yourselves. I need to get a few things set up for Part 2, so give me a moment. Go over here. Here we go. So how's your week?
Why don't we
been,
drop
gentlemen?
the ranks for a moment? You're a sloppy sack of shit. Well, now that the ranks are dropped. Also, my bag of bread is the phrase "mine on their belly." I don't know why. That's just a fun, evocative phrase.
Mine
on the belly of the ship.
God, Riker is such a... I love a cocky piece of shit who can back up everything he says. That's like a great character archetype. Riker doesn't get a chance to do that nearly enough.
And all the empty bluffing that Jellicoe is doing sets it up. You see in relief, Riker's talking shit back, but he can back it up with his piloting skills. Whereas Ronnie is kind of just bluffing his way through, so it is a nice dichotomy there.
Then ask me.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I'm already excited. I'm excited for that
this is going to be
moment.
good. This is going to be good. I need to do that button, and I think... Have I remembered everything? I think I've remembered everything. Hello, everybody. We're going to watch Chain of Command Part 2.
The Chains of Command.
The Chains of Command. Chains plural. We have now... with the first link, the chain is broke. No. Where do we start with this? Dan, why did you pick Chain of Command Part 2? No, we won't do that either. How about we just watch it? I'm all flustered. We don't usually do two-parters. All my usual stuff is out of the way. So let's just watch...
You know what? Much like Chain of Command Part 1, you don't watch it without watching Part 2. So why would you watch this review without watching Part 1? You know what we're doing.
Exactly. You know why you're here.
We took our shirts off and everything. You really got to go watch Part 1.
I tell you what, I have actually missed something. This isn't episode 10. This is episode 11. So let me just tweak something somewhere else.
Episode 11-1?
Sorry, what?
I said episode 11-1.
11-1, indeed. And 411 years ago. Right, let me do that, and then I am ready to start a trailer. So let's watch this thing.
Captive as a prisoner of war, Picard must endure...
Oh, stop.
Oh, stop, what?
We need to remember to do the segment of...
yes, which is the...
Watch this, and what's the scene they're going to
Are we really doing that?
What's the dangling curve we get?
Yeah.
So we're going to watch it and find which is going to be the scene, which
All
will
right,
be in the
pause
final.
it after the first one.
I will. Okay.
Captive as a prisoner of war, Picard must endure the cruelest punishment imaginable.
Oh, that's it.
Not just abandon him. He's
That's it. It's him naked falling down.
Yeah.
Of war.
Oh, it might be a slap.
This is the fact or fiction narrator.
Or can he survive the most brutal test of courage in his life?
Oh no, it's the pull-up. That one.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
It's going to be him pulled up. All right, that's my
You think it's going to be him pulled up? I don't know.
I think it's bitch slap. I think it's him falling out of the chair just feebly.
No, I'm going to revise it. I think it might be Riker screaming.
I was
Riker
thinking that.
screaming.
Yeah,
I can't believe you're willing to sacrifice his life.
Too long.
Yeah,
those are like 2 seconds.
You can cut that down. I bet you can.
So this is the halfway.
Oh.
Captain Picard faces a shocking test of cruelty as a prisoner of war.
Oh, we have the slap. We have the chair. Oh, I'm sorry. It won't be mine.
Are we still there? Because we got the final one.
No, let's go.
All right.
We already picked.
Just roll it.
I think Dan's right. It's the chair. Come on.
Oh, no, it's the naked.
Oh, it's different.
Oh,
you're right.
It's the hanging. Yes.
Yeah.
The black horse.
I told you this was a good segment.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's very good. It's very good.
I took my 9-1 horse race bet on the hanging, and it came back. Paid off. Trifecta.
Well, you know what you win?
The Romulan rubber ducky.
All right.
All right.
Okay, pre-ratings, gentlemen.
I was so distracted by that. I have no clue what my pre-rating is going to be.
I've to just put.
I'll go. What did I say the first time?
You said pre-rating 9. Yeah.
I'm going 9-4. I think this is set up to be all sorts of payoffs. I remember Picard at the end telling Bev he in fact could see 4 lights. Riker saying, "Ask me." This ties together all the threads from the first one, and it pays it off. So 9-4.
I think
I'm gonna go. I think this is gonna be 9.8. I do appreciate all the setup that was done, even though we had kind of a silly kind of first episode in parts. It really did a lot of building up here. So excited.
I'm tempted to go 8 because I remember being annoyed about how much of
8.5.
No, shut up.
Let the spirit in your soul.
Actually, to be fair, that only you can only take the piss out of me if I use that as my final rating, unjustified. So I probably could, but I'm gonna stick with an 8. I remember Riker being a bit too much of a bitch in this, but I don't know if that's just my memory of him being a bitch or it's just he's a little bit petty. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go for a rough quantum rating of 8. It's in the area there somewhere. Don't measure it too much. Stars.
I'm gonna join Otto and Dan in there. The higher. I'm pretty sure this is gonna satisfyingly land pretty much everything it's set up. I'm gonna go with a 9.8. I think this is gonna absolutely land. I think there's gonna be 1 or 2 little bits it might quibble over, but I feel like this is gonna absolutely sink every basket.
All right. Well, if you're watching, I'll give you a couple of minutes to get your videos synced up because we're going to start playing in just a moment. But I don't know what else I was going to say.
That's what the pre-rating's for.
That is what the pre-rating's for. But I'd like to give people a verbal warning as well because they were like, "Oh yeah, I've got to do that. Let's put them on." Actually, I think you can pause YouTube, so maybe they'll have time. Who knows? Okay. That's enough.
Who could possibly say?
Who knows how these things work? I've just got to make sure I got that off. That's off. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, 8.49. Oh, overtired. What a good idea. All right, let's start this episode. Power up your Paramount Plus. Put in that Blu-ray player and kick the dog off the sofa so you can sit comfortably because we are watching Chain of Command Part 2 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... Engage.
Then ask me. Thanks, Major.
Major.
Yep.
And required. As of this date.
There we go. But you're a dick. I don't see shots like that often. I should have remarked on
that. I like the green screen outfit idea.
I'm telling you, man, Christmas jumpers.
It's a trap. Where's the gazer? There it is.
Random purple face.
Yeah, because aren't the Kardashian phases usually orange?
I think they are, yeah.
He got a special diode in his.
It's like the Mace Windu of the Cardassians.
Yeah.
We're not going to get a lot of action in this episode, so drink it in now. You get your phasers.
Noted star of Mary Poppins Returns, David Warner. Dun, dun, dun.
Là-bas, France.
I never knew a maiden name. Your mum.
That'd be a very different episode, Idol.
Dan, it's your bread. We will get what we want from the female.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yes.
You know, I was just thinking how reminiscent this is. Doesn't he play the bad guy in a movie with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts, where he administers a drug to Mel Gibson and makes him talk? A Conspiracy Theory. That's the movie.
Oh,
Have you seen
okay.
that?
That is not a movie I've seen.
I've stopped watching Mel Gibson products.
Yeah.
6.7 on IMDb.
Well, this one. Wow.
Ouch. Wow.
No conspiracy theory.
Oh, I was going to say. What's this not? Let me check the draft. Hang on.
Oh, directed by Richard Donner.
Part 1 was
Stars Patrick
8.3
Stewart.
on IMDb.
Yeah, he gives him the gravy. Gravy! And he goes straight down.
Yeah, 8.3.
I don't. It's got Patrick Stewart and Richard Donner. Maybe I should watch it.
I enjoyed it when I was young. I think just because, I got to watch my first rated R movie. So
That's one to pick. All rise for the national anthem.
Put your right hand over your artificial heart.
Really, Preppy Trekkie? You don't usually watch Trek intros? I kind of don't skip them unless they're Enterprise.
I always skip if possible.
Really?
Really?
No, I like soaking it in.
I've literally watched them hundreds of thousands of times by this point. So
Part of the, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've watched the episodes hundreds of thousands of times by this point.
It skips all the boring parts
I
too.
just loop the intro. Yeah.
Actually, now I've worked out how you review them so fast on your little. He only has 5-minute jogs.
I like the Jellicle logs. That's a nice touch.
It's always
so
three
fierce
bitches
looking.
saying exactly.
Great makeup job. They also have a more human pigmentation in this.
Yeah, the alt is grey. Yeah, that was a more of a TNG thing. Was having them be like flesh colored.
In a brutal assault.
How many lies have you told? How many breads have you eaten?
Why are there children in the caves of Selters 3?
Children yearn for the caves.
Now, see, that's a weakness by Riker. Is he alive? Because at that point, they had not disclosed that or confirmed that he was there. So, good shadow work too on their faces.
Very good lighting.
I mean, he should have briefed them before you go in and talk with the enemy.
Well, yeah.
Because they're going to let something slip.
And we have to give Riker credit. Like, he is doing everything he's lost for of him.
You like pin the tail on the donkey.
Peekaboo.
That's good lighting work.
Yeah, nice trick with the...
Oh, so now we like lens flares? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next
Guess what?
generation
I will
lens flares.
always, I will always hate on J.J. Abrams, the talent sack.
Oh, I kind of would have liked an old analog key for that.
Yes, I've seen your balls.
I've ruined your mother. Jevanite. Yes. I always love world building of aliens.
Hmm. Oh, I'm so sorry that your warmongering meant that you don't have a strong cultural heritage anymore.
Well, you can still feel for the civilians, for the children.
I can feel bad for the Bajorian children, yes. See, he's got more of that grey tone.
Maybe as they get older, they gray.
Maybe.
Civilized.
I enjoyed every one of them.
You've given me a Mike's Hard Lemonade and I still haven't talked.
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
It'll get you. It gets me to talk.
It doesn't matter how much ibuprofen you shove down my gullet.
Hey, all right, Hans and Franz, I'm coming.
Dude, imagine if the guys from Justice came in their little white leotards.
God.
Oh no, the climbing frame.
Yes. Lower the apparatus.
Lower the Swiss cheese.
Not for long. Any allergies to knives?
Acute lead poisoning, yes.
This knife is perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Overtired's got a good one. Mike's Hard Lemonade isn't working. Bring me Mike's Harder Lemonade.
But they just use like a fucking knife. If you're gonna do the whole Jevanite story, make it like a green jade looking blade or something.
I've seen everything. I've seen it all.
So he filmed these naked in the buff.
Like, Patrick, you don't have to. No, I want to.
It's his fault that
Just smack his butt on the way up. You'll be all right.
There's an opportunity for a really inappropriate shadow joke there as well. Oh, that's the cure for a gay laser.
Oh, that's the second time he's been hit by a gazer.
You have to ungay it. You have to.
It pulls the gay out of him, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that should have been her uniform for the rest of the show.
That's a
It
different
makes it
thing
look
than
like she
she
was in Farscape.
Looks better than what she was wearing in the caves. Even though I know that's what it was, but it looks better there.
He's showing sympathy here.
Yeah, I think Riker is overstepping here a bit.
Well, maybe, but you know, he's peanut butter and chocolate with Picard. He loves this man. He's going to do anything he can to try to get him back. So you can't blame him for that.
Oh, I can't, but it's also a case of like we're talking about it being professional, but like like a professional should be able to push down personal feelings at least a little bit.
I love these two together.
I have my thermos of soup.
Yes. Actually, no, that is.
Oh, is that the bear? Is that the Baryon thermos from Strange New Worlds?
It's just a giant button. He presses it, and it just like sends him like Coke and eggs and gummy bears.
He walks in with a beer helmet on his head.
Wait, how does that cup work?
Don't worry about
Very
it.
well, thank you.
Better be some magnets involved.
Dude, now that I know he's nude, I'm checking out the shadows in every shot, just in case.
Up for that Stuart Dong.
Dude, Warner's trying his best to maintain eye contact.
Sorry,
right now.
but that is the best Austin Powers-esque com panel framing.
nice shadow work there, Dan.
I'm a prop, yeah.
Commands. That's his fetish. So let me ask the dads, how would you show this to your kids? How old would they need to be?
I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty sanitized, and if they had already gotten enough context, like this wouldn't be like in the first 10 episodes I show them, but I wouldn't mind showing it. My kids are 9 and 10 now; they could probably handle this.
How old was I when I watched this? I saw this.
I mean, because I do love the line in here: once parents learn to devalue their children are taught to devalue the parents, they can devalue anyone. I feel like that's a good lesson to.
What year did this come out? This would be
1992.
92. So I'd have been 8. Yeah, I'd show this to my kids. They're about that age now. Yes, I was watching that.
Yeah, they got Spaceballs the movie on videotape. They can just watch it. They can just watch how they finish it.
Thanks, Overtired.
He looks a bit grayer here.
So he's playing the technicalities here. You know, you would have to admit this. I feel like the Cardassians would do it, the Romulans would do it, the Ferengi would do that. Part of the reason why everyone loved the Klingons is like they don't give a shit about the technicalities. They would just blow you out of the fucking sky if they thought you were sneaking around on their planet. And I love that sort of abruptness.
Hi.
That little.
Hey, Trent.
Here we go.
Do not take me for a fool, Frodo.
Now this, I think, is where Riker's overstepping.
It's not, though.
Sir.
It's not, though.
I love Data Unread.
Yeah.
It wasn't even asked.
Commanding for me. Yeah, he just shows up in it.
I heard that there was a opening available. Here's my CV.
It's been thrust upon him. Yes.
They died in a Theta Band accident.
A Theta Band experiment.
Imagine if his kids' pictures were replaced by like frames of Riker in the background. Is that the back of a chair? Because Riker is overstepping. That's a good one. Overtime is pretty good.
Who said? Oh, overtime. Of course, it's overtime.
Also, with Riker out of there, they are working pretty well.
Is that a ferret?
Yeah, it's just a ferret.
I used to bullseye wombats.
In your T-17?
Yeah.
God. This is what makes a good villain.
Mm-hmm.
Poisoning your children, what a fucking shitbag. Like, this bothers me more than the torture, to be honest.
Well, guess what? You get to imagine whatever, anything bad you want to happen to Gol Madrid, you can imagine happening because DS9's Dominion War happens. Sorry, you were saying, Dan?
No, I was just saying this is the torture,
Mm.
Everything he does is intentional.
Yeah, it's all performative.
Also, I like that their volume is at like a 2 here. So that when it bubbles up, when he's being tortured, or when he yells 4 lights, then it really hits differently. Like, they never have an argumentative sort of shouting match at any point.
Here it is. Oh, I need to add that to the shorts list and put this one on there.
You can tell that really bugs him.
Yeah. Arrogant man, you are.
I know you're all little bitches.
Oh, I should have played my spoof I did of this. Trains run on time, yeah, Booter.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, another banger.
She barely full, but she hungry.
Yeah, there you go.
Like we should add 0.1 to our rating for every time Picard dishes out a banger insult to Madrid.
Garrick would think that he's a complete amateur.
Oh, 0.1.
Mama Picard didn't
you
raise
need the
no
little.
bitch.
You need the Super Mario mushroom sound effect every time he fires off another line. I like this scene. Tight technobabble, they get to the point right away. I like this framing.
What about the rest of the ship?
8.5.
8.5. Look at my new boots, Picard.
Climbing off your mum.
He really was transported from 1840, wasn't he?
Arms raised in victory. Oh, maybe I should do family after this, Dan. There's your tie-in.
Oh, there you go.
Also, the progression of his makeup, his torture makeup. Now his mouth has more bruising around it. Yeah, it does feel like the implied violence does more work than the actual writhing in pain.
Like his wrists, you see the burns there from the...
Right.
Yeah. Which one? I know so many.
I hardly know her. And the little nod. I like that. He just, when he heads for the door, he doesn't have energy to turn around and address him. And then when he asks him a question, he doesn't respond verbally. Just the little things. $500, good lord.
Yeah, no, I hope you have to manually arm all those.
Worf is just like, hell yeah, I like this guy. That's your job.
Ooh.
No, hell hath no fury.
Meanwhile, Picard's just like, I'm going to fly into Klingon space and just become like their arbitrator. And you're fine with that? Oh, the egg scene. I hate the egg scene. It's got a banana and some kale on the other plate. Shredded carrot. A bit of brie. Oh.
I kind of would have liked if they added some crunching noise when he goes to...
Yeah, completely. Yeah, you're correct, Evertide. Not enough beans.
In the eaves of a burnt-out building. It's like finding treasure. Do you feel any pity for him?
Point one.
Oh, for Madrid?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Ah.
Oh, I think he's trying to sing Frère Jacques there.
Something like that, yeah.
He's singing something in French, yeah. Dude, these uniforms look so great on the guys in late season. Gives them all a broad chest.
The Blu-rays enhance the colours nicely as well.
I like Jellicoe.
Yeah. I am
like even Picard wouldn't do this shit.
Yeah. Hashtag Jellicoe did nothing wrong. You know who's good?
Troy? Yeah, okay.
Hey, you know who's
she
good
can sense the emotions of the Cardassian ship, so she knows where to pilot the.
You know who could lay anything in a 500-meter radius? Commander Riker. Mines.
If anyone's going to drop a bomb on someone's belly, it's going to be Riker.
Have you ever done the Cleveland steamer?
Oh, I love him hanging up in his pimp tire.
Shut up, here's the scene.
He's reading the Kama Sutra. Yeah.
I disapprove.
I love that. Of course, he would guess classical first.
Yeah.
Oh, activated his trap card.
Since when?
You are.
Also, I think you've given me this speech.
I love you, Alex. I think you're a great entertainer.
I won't order you to fly this ship.
He won't say anything about being a person.
I won't order you to review this episode, then ask me.
Can we rewind and get them and then ask me again?
No,
Come on.
I can't.
Come on, please.
Yes.
We'll do
yes.
it. We'll do it at the
vote.
end. I'll go back at the end.
Do it.
All right. We'll do it at the end.
I take what you're back. You're not a good entertainer.
Oh, gimbal work.
It's nice that they got the reflections in the windscreen, so it gives you added bit of believability. Just pals, having fun, laying mines.
Where's Jordy going? Is he just gonna hang out in the bathroom?
I think getting ready to launch the mines.
No.
You do not.
Dude, all of a sudden one of those canisters turns into Odo and he's stowed away in the back of the
Quark, I'm in the wrong season.
Troy's awfully relaxed for her Imzadi to be on a dangerous mission. I thought they said to the Riker.
Look how he's handing the call. He's like, tense Cardassian.
He's a great one-off. Belly. What are your terms?
Why are you using babies as munitions? Yeah. See? Did it the Jellicoe way. He got it done.
All of his non-planning in episode 1 is like a complete reversal. He had every answer in this one.
Yes, that's right. Well, he learned his lesson.
He waited till he had the
Genuine
upper
development.
hand. Yeah.
No, yeah, he needed to. Yeah, these weren't chumps. You could just push over.
Picard smash.
I love that.
I fucking hate the
Normal
virtual
everyday.
boy.
Total Bond moment right here.
Mm.
You have a keen mind.
What must I do?
I don't know, put up some curtains. Little buffet table in the corner. I could, yeah. There it is. I like that.
A pitiable man.
6 years old.
You know, and he gave him the captain on the bridge, so it's not really an ego thing. He just likes the structure of... Jellicoe, Bikini 6'9". Wets himself on the bridge.
Benova serving with you, not you.
Riker just goes, hey.
That's a good scene.
The hell are you wearing?
Dan, I think your cam's frozen.
Okay.
Oh, it seems okay for me. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Maybe it's just me then.
The refreshing thought of coming back to the Enterprise, seeing your cleavage was the only thing that kept me going.
It looks like she's wearing dreads almost.
Mm.
A lot of hair.
I like the very light makeup they still have on him.
Hmm. I like his handwork there. He's still recovering. Damn.
I had forgotten how important Troy was to this episode. Complained so much about her not getting much to do, but
yeah,
it's her.
All right, let me.
I mean, she still doesn't get a ton, but it's used when she gets it. She does it well.
Okay, it's time for me to press a button. Where's that button? Where is that button? Here it is. Welcome to Star Trek, Trek. In fact, I pressed the wrong button there. I'm going to have to do that again. Sorry. Try that again.
Shot.
More bumpers. We need more bumpers.
Bumpity bump bump. Okay, welcome to Star Trek, Trek, our ongoing journey through all of the Star Trek episodes. We have now finished Chain of Command Part 2. If you wanted to catch our Chain of Command Part 1 review, it was a week ago. But we are here with the second part. Gotta keep it real. Yeah, wow. This was a lot more, wasn't it? Okay, let's not beat about the bush. Director Les Landau, different director from part 1, which I found interesting, and I can definitely feel there was a stylistic difference. I mean, this was a much more serious episode, but this is Les Landau, who's infamously done Sins of the Father, Sarek, which we reviewed on this channel as well, Tapestry, another banger episode, and Time's Arrow Part 1.
And Code of Honor.
And Code of Honor, yeah.
Time and again.
Yeah, okay, we just ignore that. The story, as we said on the last part as well, was done by Frank.
Before we run past them, I will say I noticed the camera work, particularly when dealing with Picard. And since we just watched it right at the end, the slow zoom in on him when he's talking to Troy, we get one from an odd angle when he's laying down, holding on to this metal rod. We get one of him like on his side, and it moves very gently around him to show his weakened state. And I just the stuff on Enterprise is usually a little more formulaic, but I just like what they did, in particular camera movements with Picard.
So yeah, the story was done by Frank Abamarco. I can't say this word.
Abatamako.
Frank Abagnale. He cashed in his checks and he went and wrote for Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So content warnings a little bit here for people that are listening and written reviews. We will be talking about subjects of torture and subjects of war. So just to make you aware that we will probably be discussing these things. So we won't going forward. This episode was inspired partly by the Ensign Row episode for the Cardassian aspect of it, but also by a film called Closetland. Closetland is a 1991 independent film written, directed by Arada Bharadwaj. Stars Madeline Stowe as a young author and Alan Rickman, who we may know, as a sadistic secret policeman who is interrogating her. The film was released to mixed reviews, but you can understand where the context comes from. And it's also very inspired by things like 1984. If anyone knows, the end part of 1984 is a torture dialogue between the protagonist Winston and O'Brien, aptly named, who was someone for the Department of Corrections. I forget who it was. The Thought Police, and O'Brien keeps asking, "How many fingers do you see?" holding up 4, and O'Brien expects him to say 5, and it's very very directly inspired by 1984, which is an absolutely amazing novel. Gentlemen, please, floor is open.
So one other thing that kind of went heavily into the making of this episode was a heavy collaboration, I believe, between Patrick Stewart and Amnesty International.
Yes.
I believe it was.
Yes.
They did a lot of consultation work in terms of making sure that the torture as depicted was as realistic as possible. So this isn't to judge you guys, but I found it kind of uncomfortable trying to make jokes during the torture sections. I was just this is a bit too real.
Yeah, it was very.
I'm not judging you guys because it's one of those things you see something horrible, you're inside the laugh or cry, and I get it, but I was just it was so kind of repulsed by that I couldn't laugh about it, because it's a very good depiction of torture. All of those tactics are and continue to be used around the world, including by nations that claim to be civilized, and I appreciate that. It ultimately, boils down to the fact that torture is a sadistic mechanism that doesn't actually achieve anything. And more often than not, you get inaccurate information than accurate. And it's more just a way of exerting power. But yeah, just very, very uncomfortably realistic. And Patrick Stewart and David Warner absolutely fucking nailed that shit to an uncomfortable degree.
Very much so.
Sure.
Go on.
A couple thoughts. Like I said, when we were watching, the implied violence was done beautifully, so to speak. The first scene after he gets the handcuffs taken off, you see the wrists are rubbed raw. Then the next scene, you see the big scar on his chest. They implanted the thing. Then the next scene, there's bruising around his mouth. Every scene, they just as makeup, because this is network television. They're not going to show all that stuff, but they show the progression so that your mind fills in the blanks. And I remember when we reviewed The Perfect Mate, I referenced this for Patrick Stewart's phenomenal acting. And it wasn't, a competition, he was better in one or the other. It's a completely different kind of thing. And he's so good. And the thing that sticks in my mind, maybe this is my new bread, when he takes the control pad that he was being tortured with, and he meekly slaps it on the table. A full-bodied, a fully able and capable Patrick Stewart wouldn't do that. And it's just a perfect little illustration of how far he's fallen, that he has almost no strength left. He knows it won't do anything, but he's just broken, and he's trying anything he can to try to escape from this nightmare. And so he just, all the little nuance, like I said, the camera work, a lot of really tight shots, because he's fun to film. Not only his expressions, but just the way he looks. He's already kind of got a gaunt face, so the makeup job is excellent. And then at the end, even on the Enterprise, they have a little bit still with the bags under his eyes to show that, no, this has still left an impact on him. So yeah, the torture stuff was done pretty expertly.
One thing that surprised me was how quickly this episode went, and it's interesting because the scenes with Madrid are taken they're taking their time to really make sure that the tone is set, and in a poorly done series with actors that couldn't handle the part, that could have absolutely been the padding that we were criticizing in the prior episode with the caves. Okay, oh, we just gotta, watch this guy suffer, and maybe they did have him try to do a trick and reprogram the pad, or they'd have a crying scene or whatever, and none of that happens. It's all very direct, but it's so digestible the way that they've, it's hard to say that, okay, this is a torture scene and it's easy to watch, but it's something about the performances. And the really amazing thing is too, another little nugget that we can get from Memory Alpha is that David Warner was brought in to this role 3 days before 3 days before filming, so he didn't have time to memorize his lines. So everything he was doing was sight reading off of cue cards, and he still managed to just turn in an absolutely riveting performance.
I wonder if a lot of some of Madred's performance was pushed through to Garrick as well, especially when it comes to sort of the scenes with Odo and Garrick in the Romulan two-part. I forget the name of it now. And where
the Royal Cause and the
that's
Dice
the one,
Cast,
yeah,
I believe.
yeah, where he tortures him, and there's again another torture scene. But there's parts of Garrick's sort of like heritage as an interrogator gets brought through in Madred, and you would probably think Madred is an absolute amateur because he made it personal.
Well, to be fair, it was also personal for Garrick, and he also falls apart trying to interrogate Odo. So I think they kind of reinforce the idea that torture ultimately falls apart because, the instant you try and do this to someone else, you're revealing the weaknesses of your own character. And that, I think, is as much what makes it a really effective drama is the fact that there's the talk of, like, in media of, like, stuff like torture porn, and it's just like, I feel like this is the antithesis of that. This is like torture art, if I want to say such a thing. This is not exploitative in any way. It is boiled down to, like you said, like a lot of like implied violence, but it's all about the battle of the will, and the showing of the torturer for the sadistic little bastard that he is. And I just appreciate the fact that it's just played very, very, I guess classily would be the word, but it doesn't feel in any way like they want to shock you another way other than they want to go for disgust more than anything else. They don't want to go for like shock jock. Oh, I'm gonna make you ride in your seat. You're just meant to like sit there and digest the fact that this is uncomfortably realistic and this does happen to people all around the world. I think.
What's interesting,
we get this one shot. We get this one shot, and I think someone said it was the Austin Powers sight gag, where he's standing there naked, and the little personal computer is in front. But I've watched this episode since I was a kid, and I probably watch it every few years or so, and I don't think I've ever once found any humor in that, because it's played so earnestly, so seriously, that what would be a sight gag in a lot of other shows is just a clever framing to show, yes, he's naked. Yeah. They've stripped him of personality. They've stripped him of any kind of armor or anything he could to use to hold between him and his torturer. So, like you say, really delicately done.
I think it's interesting, sort of like, like yourself, I've also watched this like quite a few times, and I've always been impressed with Patrick Stewart in this, playing the torture victim, because you see the slow progression from like drugged up to then more aware to sizing, delivering the very sort of like incomprehensible barbs back to Gul Madred and sort of still being with it. And then and I don't think it's been until this rewatch and then sort of reading more about the subject matter, but I was never as happy with it as there are 4 lights at the end. I always found it a little bit over the top, but actually no, I think it's appropriate. It now feels more sort of in theme for, someone that just wants that release. They finally know. Although, to be fair, if I was Picard in that scene, I would not trust the fact. I thought this would be like, it's another ruse. I'm going to be released. Oh, they've sent some guards in here. But for the sake of timing, they have to do something like that. So I Patrick Stewart is just absolutely amazing in this episode. His portrayal of a torture victim. I can't say I don't watch a lot of films or programs with torture in them, but it was there for a start. For a Star Trek, that's something it doesn't get. The only sort of relatable thing to it would be Best of Both Worlds, where he gets assimilated by the Borg and has to deal with that in family. That's the other sort of big major thing that happens to him. Poor Patrick Stewart, he's nearly up there with O'Brien in terms of suffering, but. it's it's a major event. I kind of wish this episode had a family aspect to it, an episode a bit Fallout, because he does just sort of turn up on the bridge. Does it?
It's not his family, but there's a family aspect to this that's pretty important.
Okay. But yeah, so go on.
Sorry, I guess I confused you there. Let's talk about Madred's daughter.
Oh yes, I've seen
that.
Yes.
Disgusts the hell out of me. That I said that was more disgusting than torturing Picard. He brings his daughter to stand in the room, and they do a great analogy. She's got her little pet in a cage. He's got his little pet in a cage.
Right. And
we get, among other great lines from Picard, when a child learns to devalue their parent, they can devalue anyone. She asked her dad, do parents, or do humans have parents, mommies and daddies like us? And he says no. Or he says yes, but they don't love their children the same way that we do. It's just such insidious language. He's poisoning her mind. And it's just, you hate him for that more than anything else, I think. Because, even the torture, as gross as that is, he's a military man trying to glean intelligence that may save Cardassian lives down the line. There is no excuse for him poisoning his daughter the way he does. There's no justification that you could say, I could see maybe that might help them or save something down the line. It's just pure grossness.
And they did that early, too. That was one of the first scenes that we got. And it's one of the most effective ones. There's a fake respect that Madred shows Picard, where they're being very genteel about the way that they're communicating, but behind it all, Madred really does not value at all this enemy, this foreign, non-Cardassian thing that's sitting in his chamber. Just another day at the office for him, and he's got his bag of tricks too, just like Jellicoe does. And this usually works.
Yeah.
But what he didn't bargain for is that in one of Picard's defining traits is he uses his mind to solve situations. He wasn't going to reprogram the pad. He wasn't going to try to look for a way out. He was going to use his mind and outmaneuver this guy, and he did it.
Well, did he? Like, that's ultimately what it comes down to, is the fact that, yeah, he beats Madred, but he gets extremely lucky and is saved at the last second right as he's about to break. And I think that that's kind of like part of the genius of the episode, is that, like, it would be very easy of it to go, Picard's the hero and he wins through sheer willpower. And it's like, no, he was on the verge of breaking.
Well, just
like,
a counterpoint.
you could see five lights.
On the counterpoint to that, it truly is. It kind of is Picard that won, because throughout the interview and even at the end, he does break Madred, because Madred does make it personal. Madred did have his orders, clean him up, get him ready to go, and he wants to get that final thing. He is pissed off with Picard because he hasn't broken him. Picard's had several jabs. He's never had a torture victim talk back to him the way that Picard has. Talk about his daughter and talk about the Cardassian values, and yet at the end, like, he's just tries to get that last. No, you have to see five lights. I have to be proven right, and that makes Madred's the weak one in that situation. Picard, essentially, even if Picard hadn't been rescued and he got tortured to death, Picard wouldn't have had any information for him. He would not have had. He didn't actually have that Minos Corva information, did he? He truly did not know.
Well, yeah, that was the implication.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think you're falling into a bit of a trap there, because I don't think it's about who's strong and who's weak and who wins and who loses. I think that in this scenario, everyone loses, because
Yes.
it's been boiled down to a conflict with sadism, and it all comes down to Madred's little story about him getting his arm broken by the older boy over the taskbar. It's a case of, it isn't about actually getting what you need in the way that you need it. It's about proving, it's about proving who's stronger, who's more capable of surviving. And it's like, no one wins. Like, Picard may have won in front of everyone else in that he didn't break in front of everyone else. But if you ask Picard, he would not say that he won. He would say that he was, like, nearly defeated, and that, like, he is going to be carrying the scars from that for years to come, because torture does that to everyone. It devalues everyone when you take someone down to that level. And I think that's kind of, like, it is very easy to see it on that thing of who wins and who loses, but I think it kind of, loses some of the that final shot, and Picard's thing of no, I could see 5 lights, kind of drives that it's not about who wins and who loses. It's about the fact that everyone loses when you allow yourself to drag down to this level.
Yeah, it's not a zero-sum game, but if I had to pick one, I would say Madred won. Because here's the thing, Madred was already a fucking loser. He never graduated from that weak kid who had his arm broken. He was always the loser, the underdog who wanted to make himself feel better by tearing down someone else. But we know Captain Picard is a great man. So to break him down, you're starting from a much higher place. To break him down to the point where he was seconds away. He did get saved by the bell. If they hadn't walked in the room, would he have answered 5? He says he would have. We have to take him at his word. So, Madred did more damage over the course of the episode. He also kind of tore himself down. There's a line in there. I asked you guys in his story about getting his arm broken. I said, do you feel any pity for him? And you guys said no. I felt pity for him. He says, but of course an older boy saw them and wanted them, and he got them. And a great look on his face from David Warner. And he looks down and he looks like the kid that got his arm broke. And I don't feel bad for the Cardassian warrior Madred. I feel bad for the boy who was turned into a villain at that point.
Oh yeah, I think that's the important distinction to make. Yeah,
the children, and we see it right at the beginning with the children. Is would you feel bad for his daughter if something happened to her? Probably, because you see the brainwashing in action. When he was a kid, was he this evil tyrant? Probably not. I do feel bad for him in that story, and of course they snap it back, and you stop feeling bad for him really quick. But he puts in some really nuanced work in that little speech, and just that one line where he reverts back to a child. It's like that was good. I felt for him in that moment alone.
That's exactly why I don't feel pity for Madred, though, is because everybody has that defining moment where something they love dearly is taken from them, something they need is deprived from them, and so Madred's character arc is that turned him into the villain. And when Picard had his humanity taken from him, he had something of a rumbling of that. We see it in First Contact, where he goes a little bit off the deep end about the board because of his prejudices, but ultimately he's able to overcome that, and that's the human characteristic that makes the Cardassians so alien, because they lack that. The story for them, goes the other way than what our protagonists would want. So.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I hate to bring this up, but if we look at Star Trek Nemesis, the movie, the difference is when Locutus happened, he was an adult who had a lot of experience under his belt. But what we see in Nemesis is his shadow asks him, okay, if you had this upbringing, this evil, torturous, awful upbringing, would you have made the same choices I did? Mm-hmm. So I feel like this happening to Madred at a much younger age is what makes it easier for me to feel some sympathy for the younger version of Madred.
Yeah, I think that's the important distinction to make, because I think it's the case of we always have, like you say, Dan, we have these defining moments where we ask ourselves, we even in the moment, we probably don't have the requisite tools to ask ourselves, is this going to change who I am? Am I choosing at this moment to rise above or go in with the undertow? But looking back on it, you can kind of go, I either chose to rise above or not. And the fact that Madred fails to rise above, you could qualify it as a failure on his part, but it's a case of, is it a failure? Failure implies that there was a possibility of success, and everything that he tells us about the Cardassians, everything that we learn about the Cardassians from Garrick, from every other Cardassian character, all the way up to Zial, is that this is not a culture that really supports rising above. We maybe Maritza, maybe is the one, and even he still participated in it until afterwards, until after the fact. And it ultimately becomes about this culture, this culture of violence that makes it impossible to rise above, and the ultimate tragedy of that. So yeah, I think that it is important to draw that distinction between Madred as he was, Madred as he is, especially because they are so deeply intertwined. like one cannot exist without the other, and one still exists within the other. If you track back the threads, and oh boy, does Picard do that, and does it kill Madred when he realizes he's vulnerability? Which, yeah, you were saying, 0.1 of a point for every time it happened. Like, Madred was exposing himself for the little bully that he was, because he just couldn't stop making it about him and his ego and his need to validate himself over this superior Starfleet officer, and he just kept on leaving his ass bare, which is kind of what makes him such a good villain.
I guess the more apt comparison, and it's a shame that Worf didn't get a line or two here about when he lost his parents on Glorndin Core, and he was orphaned and taken in by the Rozhenkos, and so that was a defining moment early on where obviously he was more amenable to the humans, and the Klingons ultimately did him dirty, but he could have certainly had a different arc there too.
No, Worf was just happy because Jellicoe said, go lay 100 mines. And yes, yes,
500 mines they prepped.
Yeah.
No, I would prep 500 mines.
And I would lay 500 more. Yeah, I can see Worf singing that.
Okay, let's shift over to the B story. Jellicoe in this episode, in contrast to
the A story?
Yeah. Compared to with the complaints we had to him in the last episode, I'm just going to go from my recollection. Jellicoe was awesome in this episode. He was not as adversarial. He owned up to Riker. They had an honest heart-to-heart. He got it done. This was the best version and best outcome of this episode. It's kind of almost the anti-Picard and Madred story. It's two adversaries working against each other and then winning.
Did Jellicoe get it done, or did Riker get it done?
But on the other hand, Riker was kind of a bitch in this episode.
Not as much as I remember, but he did overstep. He definitely...
He did.
Riker knows that prisoners of war, and you can't sacrifice an entire ship for one man. Picard would have told him that.
There was
yes,
so
this is consistent with Riker's character, because we saw this in Best of Both Worlds, where it is plainly laid out to him. You either choose, Guinan comes to him in the radio room and tells him, Picard is dead. He's still around us, but he's dead. You tried to kill whatever it is that was on that Borg ship. You have to make a choice now to either be the captain or let us lose. And Riker takes the third option of I'm going to win both because I'm just that good. And arguably, Riker gets to do that again here because he doesn't have to choose to either kowtow to Jellicoe or to let things happen. He gets to surf on through because he is just that good, and he gets to make Jellicoe go for humble pie.
I think it's interesting. Not really humble pie. I would more say that because Riker's actual story here, you would be right if that his mission was to then take the shuttlecraft and go sort of do a bombing run on Cardassia and rescue Picard and, get the girl and run away. But no, this is actually a completely different mission of just bombing a load of Cardassians, completely separate of his feelings about Picard. So if anything, this is Riker's probably actually being a little bit more professional by the end of it, although he does make Jellicoe squirm for it.
Now look, Jellicoe is the hero here, all right, not Riker. What happens is
I agree with you.
Dude, there's so much to unpack in this story. First of all, when they're talking with Golomek at the beginning, he talks about they've captured Picard, and Riker breaks a little bit. He gives away some information. Is he alive? That's tacit confirmation that yes, that's you've captured Picard. They didn't have that confirmation before. And then he talks to Jellicoe in the hallway, and he says, "All right, let me rescue him." And he raises his voice a little bit, but it's important to him, and that's understandable. All right, he was his XO for 6 years at this point. He loves this man. He's going to do his best to rescue him, and that's fine. But then in the next scene where he breaks, he yells at him, "I can't believe you're willing to sacrifice the captain's life." That's when he oversteps. Jellicoe is right to pull him off. And then what happens? I said when we were watching, with Riker out of the way, actually things start clicking. They find the Cardassians, and they know where they were stationed. They go plant the mines.
Geordi stops
Jellicoe's
moaning.
whole plan is set in motion, and it's a perfect plan, and it wins. He gets everyone to eject their phaser coil, tuck tail, and run home, and that plan works. And yes, they needed Riker to pull it off at the end, and that's the good kind of Starfleet cooperation that we want. But the fact that his plan was put in motion without Riker and it ended up being successful, I think is a point for Jellicoe.
Well, I think it's also worth noting that Jellicoe does have to give a bit of ground, not to Riker, but to Geordi. Like, that entire conversation about who the actual best shuttle pilot comes about not because of Riker's obstinacy or because of Jellicoe's, like, he gets all this information. He gets given all these crew evaluations, the duty roster, all this. But because he doesn't know this crew, because he's thrown all of his weight into it, he has to go and sit down with Geordi and connect with him on a personal level and talk to him like a human being. And like be personally, like I said, not just offer a personal thing and then, cool, now get the job done. He has to actually connect with someone, which is what Picard would have done. That's the kind of that's the thing, is like we say, oh, would Picard do that? Everyone in Starfleet, including Picard, does start off as a shuttle pilot. Like, they have to do at least some degree of that. And Picard makes mention of like having to do similar kind of stuff in his previous careers. Like, so they would have been the same. And that's the kind of, I think, important to it, is the fact that Jellicoe has to do a very Picard moment of connecting with a crew member. And that's what yields the revelation that gives him what ultimately wins through. It's not 100% Jellicoe winning through. It's the entire Starfleet crew coming in underneath him when he yields a little bit. You have to give a little bit in order to get. That's kind of the important thing, I think.
So 2 things. First of all, we need to know what the sign behind you says.
Yes.
Auto.
Hello, Sarah, NAC 1701. I hope you're having fun in the next room over.
Okay, very good. Second of all, everything that happened in this episode successfully was Jellicoe. He was the first to ask and challenge the crew, hey, we need to find a way to track these guys. What can you come up with? And Geordi comes up with the particle residue. And so from there, he formulates the plan. Where could this be from? Okay, we know where they're going. We know they're interested in Minos Corva. How can we handle this? He comes up with the idea for the mines. And interestingly, he brings Riker back into the fold, but not as a first officer, as a shuttle pilot. So Riker ultimately loses in every way in this episode. He doesn't get to do his job. He gets to do a shuttle pilot's job, doing Titan's turn in his sleep. And Jellicoe really does save the day. So that's an interesting person.
But here's, I think, we're talking about if you asked, like we were saying with Madrid and Picard, if you asked the characters who won in that moment, you would get a different answer. And you say that like Riker loses in that moment. I think if you asked William T. Riker after all this, who won, you or Jellicoe, he would say that he won. Because then ask me, and then he had to ask him. Ultimately, that's kind of what it comes down to, is that like Jellicoe did all that posturing, and it came down to the fact that you can't do it all on your own. You have to give. And that's kind of the interesting thing, is like, who do you think wins? Like, does it matter who won? And then I know, I feel like there's something here in terms of both of them are about like, is it a case of who won?
No, we're being too zero sum, and that's what makes this episode great. Is you have A and B in parallel. Everyone's winning, everybody's losing, and it's not a mess. In some episodes they say, "Oh, it's a mess," and it was beautiful. This is tightly written, smartly written. Everybody's working in concert and kind of working against each other, and it's awesome. There's a pair of scenes that go really well together. You mentioned one. Jellicoe is talking to Geordi, and I think that's about 70% personal, 30% job work. He legitimately opens up. He talks about Titan's turn and all that, and that's real. That's affable. And then he needs to know, yes, who can pilot the mission. But then when he goes to talk to Riker, he tries to deliver it the same way, but you can tell he's not there to be affable. He's not there to be his friend. And he has just you know, what kind of music do you play? You don't give a shit, and Riker knows you don't give a shit. So why don't you just say what you're really here for? And just the 1-2 of those scenes is you see how he reacts to Geordi and then how he reacts to Riker, and it is a nice little.
This fucking episode's great, man. It's a fucking great episode.
It really is. How about it's time for a bread. Thank you everyone for coming to this week's edition of Sandwich Making Course, where we take everything from this episode and just chuck it between 2 slices of bread because fucking excellent. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to limit you gentlemen to 1 slice of bread per person. So Otto, please, your.
Oh, see, I wanted to go last because I have like 15 breads, and I was hoping you guys would pare it down for me a little
sorry,
bit.
There has been a limit on flour in the 4-shift rotation. There's not enough to go around.
There's only so much yeast.
Water.
Right. Actually, being a bit rye idle.
I shall not rise to that insult.
Don't spelt it out for him, Dan. He might not get it.
Yeah.
Gosh. I will say.
Don't wait for the bread to rise. Answer me now.
She's in the other room laughing at my bread puns, by the way.
Thanks, Sarah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the bread that I walked in with. It's Riker sitting there, then ask me, because that is so Riker. He's a cocky little shit, but he's good at what he does. But Jellicoe's right, and he's right, and it's just the culmination of these 2 guys butting heads for 2 full episodes. And it's just, you know, you don't hate him for being cocky. He's not like smarmy. He's Riker.
Oh, it's so entertaining. It's so good.
Yeah.
Ask me.
Go on, start.
Well, you stole my bread, Otto.
Sorry.
Then in which case, I think I might have to go with. I really appreciate Patrick Stewart's physical acting here, because it's not just the smashing of the pad, which is done with such like control that he makes it look like he's been absolutely withered. It was also just the way that he shook off the guards at the end. Because like you can imagine how Picard, you can imagine how Picard would have done that if he had his full power. He would have been like very dramatic, what, as if he were like pushing over a double door or whatever. But instead, it's this really jagged and small and irritable movement that would not normally come out of Picard. And it's just such a perfect little bit of physical acting, and there's so much of it here in the entire episode, especially like him like ringing in, clasping his hands in that final bit, like. He is like just watching. You could watch this with the sound off almost, and just watch Patrick Stewart's performance. I think you'd get something really interesting out of every scene. That's my bread.
Go on, Dan. Butter my bread.
So I will run with your citation of Patrick Stewart's physical acting, and I will zero in on a different moment. And it's the first moment that Madred demonstrates the implant, and he apologizes to Picard, and then Picard's way of exhibiting just the sheer surprise and pain, just the way he sucks in his voice and tilts at a strange angle and can't possibly even catch his breath, and just the sudden onset of it is just so remarkable, and it just, you know, you can't help but feel for him. It's amazing what he can convey through the screen.
And I think, like Star said earlier, all that work with Amnesty International and watching sort of videos of torture victims and things like that, you know, you can feel that through the performance and how he's taken it on. And it's one of those reasons that we look at... Sorry to interrupt you, Dar, but like one of the reasons we look at Patrick Stewart as an amazing actor is for moments like this. So folks, carry on, please.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah, your turn, Idle.
Oh, okay.
And twinned at the end, if I had a second or third bread, when they... when they cut back to the Enterprise...
Slice.
He's writhing. Madred has left the torture device on, and he's singing in French, but it's like it's broken and it's jagged, and you can't tell what quite he's saying until you catch a word of French, and it's like that is very visceral.
My bread's got to be the eggs, like. Like everyone's heard about the hangover cure. Have a raw egg and just that's disgusting enough. The fact there's something, and I've right. So me and my wife went to a seafood restaurant, and we decided let's try oysters. You know what oysters are? They're alive in the shell, and they just go straight down. I did that, and I was just I was not happy with that. I don't want to eat anything that's alive. So it tasted just like salt, and it was just but the fact that it was something wriggling, it's like gah. It's best when it's served fresh, and the fact it's sort of wriggling down and it's inside you. Oh no, I hated that scene. It was.
You're making me hungry. Stop it.
Yeah, it's definitely eggs. I need my eggs over a high heat. Thank you very much. Okay, let's do.
The best advice I can give you is to just be yourself.
You're the worst thing that ever happened to Zek. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Actually, that's the second best piece of advice.
In fact, you're the worst thing that ever happened to the entire Ferengi Alliance.
No.
Just stop saying that.
Best and worst parts of the episode. Dan, go first.
Okay. Best part, again, another Patrick Stewart scene at the very end when they have a kind of a wide shot of the torture chamber.
Red alarm! Red alarm! Red alarm!
Subscriber, check it out.
Hey, Sarah, thank you for being one of our wonderful Trek timers.
Gotcha. You're stuck with us. So the scene right before the guards come in to take him away, Lamech comes in. It starts the camera shot starts between two of the lights right over the shoulder, and it zooms in slowly on Picard, and he's trying to figure out as this chaos is going on around him, and the guards are coming in to let him go and talking about the Enterprise, getting him back to the Enterprise, and he's subconsciously taking this all in while he's doing his mental calculations. And when he finally gets the news and he's being led away, there's a slight pause. He goes, "There are," and he seems to almost count under his breath just to make sure that he really does still just see the four lights. And it's just just that one little bit, even from when I was a child, has stuck with me. Just him just taking a quick tally just to make certain that he's not really going crazy under what just happened. Worst moment. I think just generally how underused Beverly was. She was kind of an integral part of. Oh, did you lose me? Sorry. Let me get back on.
Very briefly. Oh.
Oh, Madred's got to him.
Oh no. That's too much bread.
There we go.
What are the defense plans for Minos Kova, Dan?
So yeah, I think she must be the lowest word count in the episode, because the only thing she even really got to say was just this kind of smarmy response to Jellicoe, about I'll be waiting for the casualties you send me, you jerk.
She is not the lowest word count.
But I feel like just doing a scene between her and Troy to talk about just how the survivor's guilt that she must have if they think that Picard was dead, just something to kind of bring her a little bit more into what's going on.
No, Data had 100 words that episode. He was fairly wordy. The lowest Worf, yes. Of the main cast, 16. He had one word more than Gul Madred's daughter, Jill Aura, with 15 words. I'll just to shake things up. I'll go. It's hard to pick a worse moment for me out of this, because this is a very, very, very tight episode. I will probably go for just Riker just shouting at Jellicoe uncontrollably and just sort of losing his cool, because I felt like, I don't know. I know Riker's an emotional person, but he is a Starfleet officer and he prides himself on being that. And 6 years down the line from his other sort of emotional moments, I feel like he would know the difference between, what is important on a mission and, the stakes that Starfleet, the war between Starfleet and Cardassians would be. So I'm probably going to put that as my worst moment. Not the eggs. The eggs was just reactionary, but a best moment. God, just I don't know. It's just any time Picard can raise his head and just deliver a barb at Gul Madred and just go some well-defined element of fuck you in a very, you may test that assumption at your convenience level of Patrick Stewart-isms.
Her belly may be full, but her spirit is empty. Like he's just. I wrote some of them down. He's got banger after banger.
Yeah. He's just so good at just like, and then trying to overcome at the end, at the point where he thinks, everyone thinks he's broken. He thinks he's broken. He's still got more to say, and it's just, just lying on the floor, singing to himself and just getting it through, and you can still maintain that element of Picard that we just love as a character, and we'll just have every point to just go like, right, I'm not going to worry about what's going on the ship. I'm not going to worry about until the point, with Beverly, But and we'll just kind of go like, this is my situation now. I'm gonna look at Gul Madred. I'm gonna take his character and I'm gonna dissect it and I'm gonna work out what he wants from me. Auto, best worst.
I'd love to be original, but I can actually literally only think of one worst. So I'm gonna echo what Idol said. Riker's not an idiot, and I'm sure he would like to unload Angelico at that point, but what would it accomplish? By taking yourself out of commission, you are lowering the chances of rescuing Captain Picard, and that should be the most important thing on your mind. Yep. And it was just, it wasn't good. Not for a first officer, not for a man who's been decorated 5 times, as Picard said. That was a misstep by him. And he ends up not paying the price, which, I don't know. Maybe you should have. I'm going to take 2 best. I'm feeling greedy. 1, Jellicoe sets off a mine. Gul says, "You can't intimidate me." And does Jellicoe parry him? No, he turns around and goes, "Set off another mine. We're going to teach him a lesson." I'm like, yes, that's how we negotiate with terrorists. But my real best, and I already referenced it once, it's a delicious word salad from Madrid. "Wonderful, I like you, human. The streets of La Cat," he says. "Packs of wild ghettos for warmth." How many times do they mention some weird alien comparison that makes no sense? Ghettos. I like the way that
it's the rule.
It was finding.
It's the rule of 3 comparison with any time they mention
2 real ones and a fake one.
That's exactly it. Yeah, so like from London to Birmingham to Schnicklet.
Yeah. Eaves of a burnt out building. It was like finding treasure. An older boy saw them and wanted them, but he had to break my arm to do it. There's so many, the delivery is perfect. The imagery it evokes in your mind, the writing is so good, and it humanizes him in just the perfect amount so that you can feel something for him, so that he's not just another evil for the sake of being evil. There's something there that you can see tethers him to a real character. So that's my best.
Wonderful. In which case, it's absolutely time that we asked Mr. Jurok.
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3.
That's much too low a rating.
I was not accustomed to seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
I'm going to guess we're not going to see any unsatisfactory ratings amongst the crew of Jellicoe's 4.
8.5.
We'll see. Dan, can we have our Schiller... I'll spell this out this time. Can we have our Schiller rating code?
Thank you.
For this episode?
So this one I do have prepared. Our Schiller rating code today, boys. How many big boys sitting on your hole out of 10?
That's a good one.
Fantastic. Start us off, Dan.
Easily 500 big boys sitting on your hole. No, sorry.
Wait a minute. Okay. We didn't do stars best or worst.
I was wondering if you noticed.
Sorry, I only just noticed. Sorry, stars best and worst. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
He was going to use it as an emotional trump card later. How you cast him aside.
Okay, all right.
Listen, I'll give you one of these.
You betrayed your uniform.
There you go.
That would have been a big boy sitting on your hull. I would have been able to detonate that later.
I extremely liked my best and worst, and so he took it from me.
This is Star's villain moment.
I've been the villain all along. My worst moment is actually a problem I have with multiple Star Trek episodes, and I understand why it is the way it is, but it is especially egregious here. Why in God's name did you give Picard back control of the Enterprise and all of his command codes before you had him talk to a counselor about the fact that he had been tortured?
That's
what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, like, guess what? This is how you get shit like Geordie being mind controlled and Manchurian candidated into like nearly killing someone. Like, maybe have them talk to a therapist first. It's just a thought.
That's why Star Trek TNG is the only well, apart from Discovery, is the only series that has a counselor. Oh, and Lower Decks as well. Scrap my previous comments. Carry on, Stars.
Well, I mean, don't worry. TNG treats that counselor like trash, so you know. If a counselor is trash in the forest where no one can hear her, does she really have a counselor? My best moment. Guess what? It got stolen from me like a taskbar egg, so I'm just going to put down for my best. Then ask me. It's just beautiful.
How many stolen taskbar eggs out of 10?
That'd be if I were doing the show ratings, that's what I'd do. But I really
Big Boys on the Hull. I love that one.
You Stan's draw pick, he gets to pick. That's always been the way. Yeah, no, it's Then Ask Me. It's beautiful. It's perfectly pitched. I love seeing Jellicoe being brought to heel. I love seeing Riker getting to be a smug piece of shit. I love seeing it all get to come together. Guess what? It gives in to a lot of really toxic traits in people. But guess what? Sometimes I like being toxic and petty. Sometimes I like that in a character.
Really?
Really? Me?
Never guessed.
Never. Anyway, there you go.
Anyway, Dan, continuing with your how many big boys sitting on your hull?
Yeah, I could find very few faults with this episode. You know, some of the crew being underutilized I could forgive just because we get such a smorgasbord of Patrick Stewart and David Warner bouncing off each other. It's okay to leave some of that stuff on the cutting room floor. We've got enough other episodes in a 22 episode season to do some character building, so it's all right with me. The only real issues I've got was that this episode was done a little cheaply, and it kind of shows at the seams. When they're flying into the nebula, it's a pretty awful shot. We get reused footage of the Galore class ship off the hull of the Enterprise. We get reused footage of the shuttle exiting the shuttle bay. So really, I can't think of a single thing they spent money on in this episode other than just giving Brent Spiner a red uniform. That's about it. So yeah, a little bit flimsy, but otherwise, I can't really find a whole lot of fault. Everybody gets a satisfying end here. They ride off into the sunset. So I'm going to go 9.8 big boys sitting on your hull.
Very nice. Funnily enough, because I already rated this before you did it on my spreadsheet. I'm also going to give it a 9.8 big boys sitting on the hull. This is just stunning through and through. And like I said earlier, my only big complaint is just Riker needed another couple of reads of the script just to kind of refine that down and maybe have his concerns come out in a more mature way, I would probably say. But it wasn't as bad as I remember. Actually, you know, there was like one scene and then he has his his moment of retribution in his quarters. So yeah, 9.8 big boy sitting on your hull. Yeah, it's just that's the only thing that stops it being a 10 is just, and it's an important episode. It is a very important episode in Star Trek, not just because of like the Jellicoe memes and all that kind of stuff and Troy wearing the uniform at last. It is, you know, for Picard's portrayal of a torture victim and what that means. And, you know, for like myself, when I was 9 years old, watching this, it'll be the first time I'd ever seen torture on television or all that kind of stuff. And it's opens your eyes, and also a bit of propaganda as well. You kind of get the 1984 aspect in there as well. It's a hugely important episode, not just a good one, but just a good, I don't want to say a good message, but a good sort of story to tell. Stars, I shunned you earlier. You can go next.
You know what? I may have like mentioned, you know, all like the issues with just walking onto the bridge and being able to take him on again, and yeah, it was done a little bit cheaply, and yeah, Riker reacted.
2 weeks later.
But no, this is 10 big boys sitting at on your hull out of 10. This is exactly what it should be. It is taut. It is perfectly paced, perfectly written. It is exactly what it needs to be. It's a mediation on torture. It's an amazing character piece. It's an incredible bit of world building for the Cardassians. It's a wonderful bit of brinkmanship. It's a great showcase for Starfleet in all of its strengths. and it has an essential message about like cultures of violence that I think are still relevant 30 years, into the future, and will probably be relevant for the rest of my lifetime and beyond. Not all Star Trek episodes are this good. If they were, we would watch nothing but it. In fact, we still watch nothing but it.
I was
But
going
that's
to
fine.
say,
Yeah. But yes, 10 big boys sitting on your hull out of 10 from me.
Fantastic. Otto, sign us out. Otto has frozen. He's giving us the death. He's giving us the
continued.
He's giving us the Gull-Lamek stare of death as his internet has crumbled into oblivion. That's a great pose. Look at that. That's the Jellicoe staring at Gull-Lamek on the other side of the
Blue
table.
Magnum right there.
That's his warm up to an 8.5 pose right there.
I like to think he's sitting very incredibly still, and no one can tell.
Yeah, we know it's we know it's frozen because we can't hear his sister laughing in the background.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Oh, hang on. No, I haven't had a message from
Our vision
him.
is based on movement. Yeah.
That's true. That would be quite funny. I don't know what to do here. Oh my god, I'm conflustered by I need his rating. We cannot go without it. Shall we just presume?
Well, we'll talk a little bit here. But so Ronnie Cox
Go on.
has had a number of different roles. Usually the villain, RoboCop, Total Recall.
He's so good in RoboCop.
Stargate
But,
as well.
But one of my favorite roles for him was in Beverly Hills Cop, where he plays very much the same type of manager that kind of comes on the scene and has to handle Eddie Murphy's character, and starts out as the hard ass in the beginning, and then in the end winds up being the most helpful person and getting everybody on board to save the day. So,
like I said in the previous episode, Ronnie Cox is a recurring sort of villain in the Stargate series, playing kind of the same character but a bit more nefarious. But he is always like, oh good, that's him and Richard Dean Anderson having an episode together. This is going to be gold. So yeah, he's equally delightful in that. Otto, now you are back from the land of frozen stairs.
Sorry for the timing. Even this is one of those. This reminds me of Timeless, where a lot of the nitpicks we had with it were like, well, they could have added more here or more here. Well, if you want more of it, then it didn't really have failings. Even the small scenes. Crusher gets back. We didn't even have time to go back for Picard, and Jellicoe says, "You were smart to try." She says, "I don't feel so smart." Even the little tiny things they give her is spot on. The technobabble where they reveal how they're going to find them in the nebula. Every single scene I enjoyed. Like Dan said, the time check for me came way late. 36 minutes is the first time I checked, which is like a record for me. This is an easy 10 big boys sitting on the hull. I can't, like, my only nitpick would really be Riker, where he gets his big payoff hero moment, even though he kind of misstepped. But, we all get a freebie now and then. So I loved Jellicoe. I really, really love Jellicoe. And I'm looking forward, because I haven't seen all of Prodigy yet. Now I'm looking forward to another reason to go watch Prodigy and see what he does in there. So 10 big boys sitting on the hull.
Fantastic. Well, you'd be not surprised that this episode does end as an average of a 9.9. Big Boys sitting on the hull is the only 9.9 we have scored. So it is actually number 4, top rank 4, sitting underneath The Visitor, Timeless, Those All Scientists, just above Night, The Magnificent Ferengi, and The Ultimate Computer. So it is an absolute...
That's you know what? I know every time the Magnificent Ferengi comes up, I'm kind of happy with that as like our broad top 10.
Banger
I
episode.
like that.
Banger episode.
Like if you had to watch all of that top 10, you'd be like, that's a good fucking afternoon right there.
You'd have yourself a time.
That's a long afternoon.
Well. It's a 9.9 of an afternoon. Okay, thank you everyone for coming to chat, and everyone that's been watching us. We will be back very soon. Please check our Discord and our YouTube page for upcoming events. And also come and join our Discord. We're fun. Big shout out to Otto's sister for giving us the laugh track of the evening. And we will see you guys.
It's going to come again.
Very soon. Can't wait for it. Very soon. Live long, prosper, and ta-ra.
It's all set.
What's all set?
I got Hooker lined up with a dude who's going to give him the deal of a lifetime in a new Porsche.
A Porsche?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you should wait. You might get a better deal through the state.
Yeah?
Yeah, we just did some story on a guy who's selling stolen Porsches off a lot on Main. Real sleazy character.
What's his name?
Delvin, Kelvin,
Melvin?